Judgment time.
Welcome to Everything Comes Back to 2000AD, and today I'm joined by Mr. Stephen Ross.
Mr. Rossy, what you want? Oh, the tree of ice cream cones, a cocoa castle full of home, custard cakes, coffee breaks, holiday, we're on the stage.
Hello, and I hope all of you are in magnificent health. Today I've got Rain, Storm, Clean Energy, Valencia Orange to power me through this podcast.
And Mr. John Burtis.
Good day to all you druckers out there. And it's Bank Holiday Easter Monday. Easter, celebrate the Christ who has arisen from the dead as a zombie, and now we'll eat your brains.
I forgot you get Monday off.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I don't, because I work all the time because I'm so awesome. But it's like when people say, "Oh, Labour got you an 8-hour day." I've never done an 8-hour day in my fucking life. So
really?
They didn't get me an 8-hour fucking day. They didn't get me the weekends off. I got myself the weekends off. No, sorry, I tell a lie. Samuel got me the weekends off. But anyway, here I am in the Garden of England. It's a beautiful sunny day. The washing's out. Karen's down the town having some drinks with their friends. And I'm looking out in our street at a person who's obviously lost because he's got his golf bag with him. And he's wandering up and down the street. I'm thinking, well, mate, if you're trying to find a hole, there's plenty of potholes in the fucking road to fucking tap your balls into. But apart from that, and Mr. Ross being in the most excellent of health, life is fantastic. Life cannot get better. All you people are having a miserable time. Unlucky. You need to fucking live the life. And I've decided there's a simple way of figuring out if you're a miserable twat. Right, now this is it.
You like comic books?
No.
This
is it. If you constantly complain about films that are depressing and things like that, so you don't like the latest Superman, not the new one because that was rubbish, the what's his name, the Superman and Batman thing that came out not long ago, where it was a bit like, oh, it's not happy and stuff like that. The reason is you live a miserable existence, right? So you need to watch happy films to try and take you away from your miserable life, right? Yeah. Whereas I live the most amazing life that can possibly can be had by somebody. Yes, we have things, very hard things with Samuel, but you know what? I'm a man. I can fucking live with that. I can use my brain and make the best out of it, right? You lot can't because you're miserable fuckers. Now, because I have such a fucking awesome life and I'm probably like on 100% of happiness all the time.
Is this a message to Rossy?
No, this is the people who know who they are.
This is John going, cheer up, Brian.
Some
things in life are bad.
Well, we did watch a clip of that the other day and we all started singing it. In fact, I'll tell you when we did that in a second. So now I like to watch films of miserable stuff where I don't mind a happy film now and again, but I like to watch things where the things are going bad for the heroes and seeing if they can get out of it. I like to watch stuff like that. Now, the reason that doesn't affect me is because I'm just a happy person. Now, when people all go on about that Threads fucking TV film that came out years ago when I was at school, I thought it was fucking hilarious because, as I've mentioned many times, Hartlepool, where I grew up, had a nuclear power station on the door. So if there was going to be a Russian attack, I'm sure they'd send at least one missile to our power station to fucking eradicate all of us in the town. So I didn't give a shit. What's the point, right? Unless it affects
Did your power station bang a gong for when the
Well
missiles were
done,
coming?
well
Thank you.
done.
It got it on and banged the gong.
That's right. So I never cared, but I see all these people post all the time. Oh, that give me nightmares, and I'm like, fucking hell, get a fucking grip of your life, you fucking losers.
I
but
remember
you got-
watching
now
that.
See, fuck all of you guys, because
I
we
remember-
had a
yeah.
series called America with a K, where the
Fuck
Russians
yeah!
took over the whole country.
Yeah, I remember watching Threads and didn't think it was that big of a deal
No.
when I was a kid.
Well-
And even watching it now, I think it's dated terrible.
Oh god, yeah. It's too slow as well.
Oh, everything from that era is too slow compared to now.
But you see, that's what I've decided. People who are permanently miserable and live a shit life and just whinge all the time, constantly. They're a bit like us when we're talking about the prog. They have a shit life.
I gotta hand it to you from going from Batman versus Superman to Threads. That was
Yes.
some Rossy level thread connecting.
And I
right
didn't
there.
even put a spaceship in yet, which is a film I'll be watching this week. But yeah, it is. That's my thing now. If you live a happy life, these things that are supposed to be like depression and stuff don't depress you because you just enjoy them for what they are. But people who live a fucking shit, miserable existence, they need to escape all the time because they can't be bothered to do it themselves. And I just say, sodgers.
Well, you got a happy wife, so therefore happy life.
Well, wouldn't you be happy if you were married to me?
yeah,
I
actually.
tell Carolyn, I say, you don't know how lucky you are to have such an easygoing husband who just lets things fly by. And she just goes, easygoing?
He'd be
Well,
happy. Rossy would be happy except for the sex scenes that will pop up.
Well,
Well,
I mean,
Rossi would
I
be the
wouldn't
wife,
have to-
remember? So I'll be
wouldn't have
okay.
I wouldn't have to think too much because you're right all the time. So
That's it. It's like one of my sayings. I haven't said it for a long time. Is if there's something on the news, and then I'll put my little piece forward, and then I'll turn to Carol and go, "Well, I'm right, aren't I?" I've got to say that doesn't go down too well.
I've heard the "Oh God, John." I've heard it in person
Dear.
more than once.
Yep. Oh dear. So that's my thing. And before we get to the death that I have, I found an amazing site, but the only thing that's wrong with it is they don't send anything to fucking the UK. It's Star Trek wines. You can get Cardassian Canard Red Blend. You can get Chateau Picard. Well, I wouldn't get that because it's French. United Federation of Planets Sauvignon Blanc. The Wrath of Khan, 40th anniversary Cabernet Sauvignon. God, there's all sorts. You get Klingon Blood Red wine and stuff. And they've done a brilliant advertisement thing because they've got a load of bottles lined up in front of those famous Star Trek rocks just up the road from you, Mr. Ross.
Well, Star Trek fans are a bunch of winos now because of Starfleet Academy. They have to drink to forget.
The death of Star Trek Academy, eh?
Yes.
Anyway, I've used that little bit to get us into the deaths this week, singular. Now, who have we got? We've got one person,
Yeah,
and I've
who
tried
died
the
and made
best.
You king.
That's right. It is James Gadson, aged 86, and he was an American drummer. Now, it says here, he was also a singer and songwriter, but he became one of the most recorded drummers in the history of R&B. And the people he used to play with include Bill Withers, Martha Reeves, Randy Crawford, Quincy Jones, Herbie Hancock, B.B. King, Rolls Royce, Elkie Brooks, and he also worked with, as I scroll down the page, where's it gone? Paul McCartney, I did see. Yeah, so yeah, pretty impressive. I'd never heard of the name because obviously he was in a different genre that I primarily listen to or watch on the telly. But yeah, I mean that's pretty good if he's worked with all them people. You always
He did
get
stuff
like
for he did stuff for Elkie Brooks. That's incredible because I know that Robert Palmer was one of her backup guys as well.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And the thing is, when you, because obviously you've got like drummers who are famous drummers, but session musicians, 9 times out of 10, I would say that they are better than musicians who are in the band. They sort of enhance it. And if you become a sought after session musician, which there was one, it was a black gentleman who was included in the Beatles for a while, and he sort of became known as like the fifth member, like not the fifth member as in the drummer who got binned and Ringo came in, but yeah, but this person played with him on about 2 albums, so he was basically that extra member.
He's the Black Beetle.
The Black Beetle, yes. But yeah, it's always interesting to see when you find out about a session musician and how prolific they were, which proves how good they were when they started to play with so many people. But,
well, they probably had to play a whole bunch of different genres, and they could kind of cross over a little bit. So it's like, oh, you're playing with a rock band right now, but like you also know how to do jazz.
Yeah.
And throw a little jazz into it. Somebody did that. I forgot who it was. Well, like I keep saying, that if you watch that movie, The Wrecking Crew, which isn't the one with Jason Momoa and the other guy, they were the session musicians that played on all the 60s albums. Not all of the 60s albums, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
all that Laurel Canyon stuff that was financed by the CIA.
Ooh. Yeah.
So that was it?
That was it. I've just got one death. Everybody else was like politicians and crappy.
Oh, you missed a death.
He Knieveled over that age 82 thing too. He lived a long life.
He did, yeah, he did.
Yeah. So
But we're ready for the way that Flint sees deaths.
Yeah,
Who did we miss?
You missed the death. You missed the death of the Easter message because King Charles decided to do Ramadan instead.
Ramalama Ding Dong.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's the first time in a long time there hasn't been an Easter message.
Oh wow!
At the beginning of the month, I think he did a message for the beginning of Ramadan, but he didn't do anything for the Christians at Easter.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we've got to be. He's going to put them all on crosses, isn't he? In Buckingham Palace, in the grounds, and just say, "This is the Appian way."
I'm Spartacus. I was actually pretty shocked when I read that.
Yeah.
But then again, when you think of Charles and his approach to religion, anyways, it's probably not surprising.
Well, he likes flowers, doesn't he? And he doesn't like carbuncles of buildings.
Yeah,
that was the phrase he used. And his Old Man of Loch Nagar, his book. Yeah, he really wrote that, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, I wonder how the Freemasons celebrate Easter.
I was waiting for a joke there.
No, couldn't think of anything. I got nothing.
Yeah.
No.
Oh dear.
Well, if you want to talk about dire and depressing things, are we going to try to get caught up on the prog?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me turn on the old iPad here. It's 12% charge, so we better talk fast.
Let's rock.
Pew, pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert, Dibble, Grub.
Okay, Prog 2475, we have a Colin McNeil cover, and that's magnificent. I love it.
Eye-catching, visually very nice, and you've got that beautiful image of the earth in the background, and with the maelstrom passing around Dread.
Yeah, and he did all his own colors.
Yeah.
Yep. This sells the prog, Dread's on it. I mean, not that Dread has to be on every prog that's going to sell well, but it's very clear what's in it, who's in it. Definitely sells it. I'm Flint, you'll probably disagree with me on this one, but I even like the sort of like 80s font down at the bottom.
No!
Yeah.
I mean, it could have just said Edge of the World. That was good.
I can't
That's the
believe
worst.
you like that.
That's the worst call to Mecca I've heard in a long time.
Yeah. That sounded like the dump that I took yesterday.
That's the sound of Rossy walking with this thing up his pee-pee.
Oh, yeah,
no joke. That was me the
every
night
step
that I had
he
to go.
says that.
That was me the night I had to go to the AR and couldn't pee.
That's what he said when they said, "See this long thing here? We're sticking that down your penis."
Oh, it wasn't down my penis. It was up. It was all the way up.
When are you going to stop? No, it's still got going. It's still going in, mate.
Well, I mean, it's got a long way to go. You know what I'm saying?
He's held together by the tube.
Yeah. I am the two-way army.
Oh dear.
Rossy, did you read Dried Life?
I did. It was weird. It was like there's this 2-panel joke on the top, and then there's this other one that kind of doesn't almost make sense. I didn't get the beats of sitting in a bowl of rice all day joke, but maybe I missed something. Anyway,
Could it be when your phone falls into the water in the old days, just to take it out and put it in a bowl of rice?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's because you got an iPhone that they don't mean shit. The minute it falls in water, you just throw it away.
That's it.
Yeah.
But the phone, you used to have to put it in the rice, and the rice would soak up the water.
Yep.
Oh, interesting. Okay. See, who says this podcast isn't educational?
It's
Me.
not. It's not. All right, Judge Dredd, Climate Crisis Part 5, Rob Williams, Ned Hartley, PJ Holden, Jack Davies, and Annie Parkhouse.
Dredd fights Face Change, who pulls the old Carl Urban shtick and says, "Wait!" as he stops Dredd's fist smashing into his face. He tells Dredd that he's been double-crossed by Blint, and so gives him the only shoot, and gives their location away, which is a specific cruise ship. But before Dredd can end him, the part of weather control Face Change is standing on breaks away. Dredd uses the said last shoot and lands right where he needs to capture Blint, but she's not there. And at the same time, Face Change uses his spare shoot to land and then escape. Meanwhile, Dredd can't leave the cruise ship as all the H-wagons are grounded, and obviously they have no seaborne craft. Sir.
Yes.
No!
God damn! Fuck! Oh my God. Just when you think you hit rock bottom with the Rob Williams stories, he manages to come out, pull something so stupid out of his ass. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, it's gotta be on purpose, right? I mean, he's trolling everybody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, whereas the Wagner and Grant stuff, it was satirical, or it'd be a commentary on some pop culture thing of the time, or crime of the week. They'd sit in.
Well, that gets sorted. That gets sorted in the next issue. T.C. Eglinton or whatever. I think he wrote the next Dread. He actually brings up something that's kind of relevant to today.
Yeah, we'll
when we get to it. When we get to it,
we'll get to it. But yeah, you're right. But this is just, it's like he again, it's like I've been saying all along, especially with this one, it's like I can't figure out. There are clues throughout all of the other stories I've read that he's a good writer, that he knows his stuff, and that he's definitely read all the writing books. So he's an educated writer, but it's like, does he hate this kind of action writing so much that he and like Dread stories need to have something funny? Most of the better Dread stories had, like, even the very serious ones had like a funny name or a some moment of it being like darkly humorous or whatever. But it's like the Dread, his idea of humor in Dread is to have him be really stupid, like, okay, that's the villain told me where the girl's going to be, so that's the ship that I'm going to be on, and she's not there. Like, she wouldn't think to switch ships or have them investigate every ship that happens to be leaving that area at the time. And the villain, it's like, well, I'm 100% going to trust the villain that the only chute is on the ship is that one. Just like the dumbest shit, and just have Dredd be a complete psycho about it. And then this, okay, so help me out here. Is this, I think I've read every Judge Dredd story you guys have, but my memory's just not that great. Is this face change character is new, right? This is a new Rob
he's
Williams
new.
creation.
Yeah, he's new.
Okay. All right. So somehow he thinks a character that can change his face with no explanation.
Well, he's probably a mutant.
Okay, so he can change his face with no explanation is a great idea. And then I don't remember. I read all of the other previous installments enough to remember what happened, but again, my memory's terrible. I don't remember the details. This is the last installment is the first one where the villain kind of through the captions tells you in first person narrates his side of the story at the very end of it. And and he has this chummy sort of way of talking, your old pal face change or whatever it was. I'm like, where the hell did this come from? Because the rest of the story was that omniscient narrator, if I remember correctly, or did it go back and forth? That is a weird sudden change to take, like in the very last installment of your story. Even if it was going back and forth, it's weird to go from his point of view to the overarching omniscient narrator point of view. So I don't know, man. What is this? Seriously.
Yeah. Well, it's nonsense, but art-wise, I do like PJ's art, but I hate that he puts all that speed line shit in there because he does it too many times. Like on the first page, bottom right-hand panel, it looks like Dredd's flesh is coming off his hand. I mean, it's
Yeah.
because the way the speed line, he doesn't do it
Yeah.
well. I do love that
No.
I do love that he uses his own sound effects. That's all
Yeah.
PJ. But overall, yeah, I mean, yeah, and God damn it, the what page is that? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Page 4, the bottom right hand panel as well. Look at all the shaky shit. I mean, I know it's kind of trendy to do that because of manga and what's that guy's name? Daniel Warren Johnson or whatever, the guy to do a powerbomb. I know that's kind of like the trend now, but dude, you're overdoing it and you're not doing it well.
And,
so go ahead.
Look at his lawgiver hand. He's took off his magnetic glove thing just for that one panel.
Yeah.
Well,
good
and
spot.
that whole magnet thing from last issue was, I mean, the whole so much of the action in this depends on that. And that's another thing. It's like, did he think that was like hilarious that like Dredd kicks a spine out the back of the guy? And I don't know. I really don't know what this is. I mean, if Rob Williams didn't have a history of writing with contempt is the only thing I can think of. then I'd be like, what is this? But I mean, this is like next level. What is this for him? You know,
Well,
we've gone from falling into the sinkhole into this to like all of this.
Well, do you know what? Even, to me, even the art, the positioning of stuff doesn't work because look, you see that bit on the second page where Dredd gets given the parachute, which is quite small, but no problem. But then you have that other bit of a fight on the next page. Then the building bit breaks away. It looks as though Dredd is on an overhang piece, right? Because Dredd's the one with the backpack on, and it looks like he's snapping off the main building, right?
Yeah, it looks like he's going to fall.
That's right. Then we see face change on his tiny bit dropping down. Now, where in that area there, because he must have planted parachutes everywhere to hopefully be in a precise location, he needed an extra parachute. So that doesn't make sense. And also, as he drops down, surely because we saw all that hoo-ha with the H-wagon smashing into the building coming up, they'll be ripped apart on
pieces,
parachute.
Yeah.
And then let's ignore that bit. So Dredd follows him down with his chute. Surely he would see somebody below him open his chute, because Dredd will be constantly looking down to make sure he's going to land in the right place and all that sort of stuff. And amazingly, Dredd obviously landed in the exact position he needed to. Fuck it. Do you know what? It just doesn't work. None of this whole story has worked because of all the things that are illogical and not even don't make sense. They're just poor.
Well, it's all idiot logic.
Yeah.
So to me, like,
and Dredd, sorry, I was going to say, and even Dredd not shooting him, right? Because he used the heat seeker before. Even Dredd not shooting and executing him for all the stuff he's killed judges and this, that, and the other. Dredd's executed people on the spot before for lesser crimes than that. He's killed multiple judges for a start.
Well, and he's gone in guns blazing without even knowing what's on the other side of the door in these Rob Williams stories, where it's just kind of like, it's the bad guy, shoot him, and it's like, you know. So I don't. To me, this is okay. So probably like the best example that most people have seen was whatever the name of that second MCU Spider-Man movie was, where he fights Mysterio. It was like they would have a spectacular set piece, spectacular action.
How did these idiots not know it was a hologram?
Right. There'd be this.
There's no damage after.
It's like the screenwriter wanted to write a spectacular, visual, exciting thing that you could put in the trailer and people would be like wowed by it. And then they would come up with a verbal explanation to explain it afterwards. And it was so dumb. Yeah, it was like, so nobody's going to go forensically through the rubble and say, no,
there wouldn't be any rubble if it's a hologram.
Well, no, if they were using
explosives to set off things.
Drones and lasers to knock chunks off the building. And I was like, so nobody goes through this rubble. The rubble was real. They were picking through it afterwards. And say like, that wasn't a fire monster's fist that knocked it down, because these scorch marks were caused by lasers.
Yeah.
All that, and then that whole bit with the Mysterio where Peter Parker goes on, or Spider-Man goes on this like weird hallucinogenic thing. It's like the visuals of that were kind of like music video cool level stuff, and you know,
the movie was terrible.
Going through all that his psycho stuff and all that kind of thing. It looked cool and I guess it was emotional, but it's like even if Mysterio was like alien level technology beyond us, there's still like there's no way to program that and have it play out the way it played out. Even with that movie's like 10 years old now, I think, at least. Even with like modern AI, you still could not do that. So I'm like, what the hell? And this plays out the same way. I know it's sci-fi. I know it's the future. I know there's fantastical things in it. I know there's like no way to actually change your face at will the way this works. And again, it's like there's so many characters that can do this kind of face changing kind of thing. Like, why would they think that this is like a gimmick worth? You know, it feels like we're so past that. Why try to make like a multi-part villain out of this character? I don't understand it. So
All right. Brink Call of the Void, Part 4. Dan Abnett, INJ Culbard, Simon Boland.
All right, so Bridget and Samuel L. Jackson are testing their guns, and she makes a comment that she doesn't like these new guns. I guess the other previous ones were more analog, and these are controlled by one of the corporations, so that may be an evil thing. And then she talks about the lady who, what was her name? Cutwell. She calls her Cutwell. He calls her Holly. She doesn't like her. There's something about her she doesn't like. Bridget doesn't like. Samuel L. Jackson says she's fine. He thinks she's not a plant. They think that this investigation that they're doing has been infiltrated or in danger of being infiltrated. So Bridget kind of pokes out that like maybe she's the one doing it, and it's like no, he thinks she's fine. Then they cut to this new behavioral analysis investigation they're doing with two new characters, Izzy Frieden and Monica Hahn. One of them, the blonde, mentions the low theta, and almost seems like it feels like Bridget makes a joke, and then they make a big deal about her making a joke. And then the other one mentions this low theta thing, and Bridget kind of freaks out because that's like sect terminology, and she's like, I've never heard anybody actually use that like a normal person. So anyway, that's that.
Same old, same old.
Excellent writing, excellent storytelling, excellent artwork, excellent character design. It's almost impossible to summarize. If you like the first one and if you like the next one, you're going to like this one too. There you go.
Yeah. Same with you,
What do you
John.
think, John?
Yep, I'm exactly with you. I thoroughly enjoyed the first 3 pages on the range. I thought it was the art was fantastic, flowing through the panels.
And he kept the heights as well. The height of the black guy. The black guy's taller than Bridget, so that's shown in there too in the different angles.
It was just nicely the way it was done. It was basically like you're watching it on a TV or something. You know what I mean? You could see the layout of the screen coming through everything. So I really enjoyed that. The only funny panel was on the 4th page. Let me just make sure. Yeah, 4th page. The bottom right panel, the lady's face went a bit weird with her smile. But that was the only thing, a minor thing, because you have to pick up some things that wouldn't be fair. But apart from that, as we said before, the only problem the story has, it's a very slow burn in a fucking anthology, but it's so well written, and it's the artwork. To me, from the initial openings of the art in the very first stuff, it's sort of like jump leaps. It's the same sort of art, obviously, there's no difference, but it's leaps and bounds the way he's obviously getting, I feel, the way he gets, the way Dan writes his stories. So, as we said with other tales in the prog and the meg over the years, if it's talking heads, it gets very boring. But not with this. It's well done, well thought out between the artist and the writer. So yeah, I love it, and I love the colours as well. You got that blue hue everywhere.
As my friend used to say about himself, it asks a lot, but it gives a lot.
Yes.
All right, Tharg's Thrillers presents Who is Adrian Apollo, Part 3, and that is by, where's the credits on this one? Oh, Liam Johnson, Steve Austin, John Charles, and Rob Steen.
Is this me again?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going into a recap here because last time the M character accused the Space James Bond character of possibly being a fake or something. So we're doing a little bit of a flashback to when the Space James Bond is trying to escape, and he sends all these barrels off into space, thus stopping a space war. And then the order is given for the most innocent character on board to be captured. and it's like this little purple midden-faced McNulty type character, and using a series of shocks, it goes from midden-faced McNulty to Space James Bond to the sexy purple alien girl from the previous installments to this new green character, and I forgot how the wrap up actually takes place, but
she's gonna be the replacement for the spy she killed, the top spy.
Yeah, she didn't mean to kill Space James Bond, but she felt bad that he had to die from her poison, but she ended up killing the corporate overlord, and you're right that she's going to be the replacement. So there you go.
Yeah, I like the artwork. I think this is probably one of Steve Austin's best work that we've seen really, in a while. Yeah,
they gave him a lot of fun stuff to draw.
Yeah, and I it was a nice little twist, but it kind of I hope not, but it's kind of leaving it open. Let's have a series called Adrian Apollo, but hopefully not. But it was good. I liked it.
Maybe she could pair up with Skip Tracer, and they could do like 50 fucking installments all together.
What did you think, Rossy?
You just did.
It. Yeah, all those things. You know, I thought the great work from Stone Cold Stephen Austin. It's a fun story. It's action. It's not like the greatest thing I've ever read. Will I remember it in a month from now? Probably not. But as far as thrillers go, it was pretty good.
And you liked it too, John?
Yeah, I liked it, and I like the artwork. I like the characters. It's quite it's quite interesting because you've got like this sort of it's mainly a grey sort of like background on stuff, grey and black, but you get these big points of colour, like the little character where it's purple on the, and you get them big points of purple on the character on the second page. Then you go to the fourth page, purple quickly changed to green. So you got and it's all in the chair. You know what I mean? I like that sort of pinpoint of the character. But yeah, and I like the way that it's the way of bringing in her, well, whatever it is, to be the new agent. So yeah, quite enjoyed it. Would I want to see more? No, I think to me that's enough, because the problem I feel now is we have so many stories taking forever to finish. It's just ridiculous, as we'll find out in the next prog, where a brilliant story returns. It's like, how long ago did we have the last part of that?
Yeah.
I know it wasn't as long ago as it was before the previous part of that one, but fucking hell, come on.
I don't think all of these thrillers need to be like a pilot for a new series either.
Yeah.
So, but John Charles is a really good colorist. I mean, there were times when he saved a few lazy bastard panels from Sinister Dexter just by the coloring. So
yeah. Okay, Future Shocks, Andy Ewington, John McCrae, and Annie Parkhouse.
Is this me again?
Yeah.
This is how well we laid this out.
The prog according to Rossy.
So in a very scratchy future, a guy shows up to the tattoo parlor and wants something to change his luck. So tattoo artist puts this Chinese snake on him, and the guy goes and starts gambling. He wins at gambling, but he starts to notice that the snake tattoo's moving, and with every win, the snake keeps moving and getting bigger and scarier. So he goes back to the tattoo parlor. Tattoo artist tells him no, but he says, it was going to change your fortune, and it has, but it's taking with one hand, giving with the other, and if you keep winning, it could be your life. So he does what everybody else would do and goes back to gambling, and then the snake tattoo like goes across his chest and pierces his heart, and he dies.
The clever thing in this is that he was doing one more big gamble, and that's it. And then he bumps into the bloke, and the bloke says, "I bet you never saw that coming, pal." And then he says, "You want to bet I did?" And that's what done him in.
Yeah, that was
brilliant.
Okay.
See,
yeah.
That's the only good bit in the story, because everything else I feel as I've seen in multiple TV series, whether it be Hammer, House of Horror, Tales to the Unexpected.
What I Done.
Yeah, anything like that with the tattoo moving across the body because of whatever the thing is. I'm not saying it's a bad story, but like the bit that you just pointed out is the clever bit out of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The rest,
the monkey's paws and that what they call it.
yeah,
Like
all
yeah.
that sort of stuff. Art, I think with the scratchy style, I think the black and white and those bloody dots was too much for me. I'd have preferred a bit more colour, even if you put those little colour points in to draw attention to certain bits. I think because it's in some of the panels it's a bit compressed, like that bit where the taxi and all that's in there. There's too much.
It looks
in
like
there.
too much overkill for your eyeballs.
Yes, yeah. You know what I mean? Because if you turn the page, if he'd have done the snake as the colour point in every panel the snake's in, I think it
like
would
a
have.
spot color, yeah.
Yes, because that bit on the third page when the snake's massive, that would have been so eye-catching. So I'd have preferred something like that to try and bring me out of the cluster of some of the images. But yeah, very generic story, but a very nice twist how he did get killed, not by what you expected, but by a casual meet in the street.
Yeah, I think I do love the artwork, and it is very scratchy, and I think it's because it's all very scratchy. There's no real dark black parts, right? Even the shade and shadow on the horses and the boxer, they're all scratchy looking.
Yeah,
That it does kind of merge all into one, and nothing really pops out. Like like what you said about the snake, that snake should really pop on that panel because that's the main
yeah,
focus, but it doesn't because everything's the same uh, um, width and length with the line work and everything, so it doesn't really pop. But I do love it. I thought it's cool to see another black and white story in the prog, and I think I give Joe McCrae shit for doing some of the Dread covers because I think he churns them out in like 10 minutes. But it looks like he did a really good job on this. So it's fantastic. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
And the story, I like the little twist.
Yeah. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, good shit. Okay, here we go. The Discarded Part 13. Pete Milligan, Kieran, A.I. McKeown, Jim Boswell, and Simon Boland.
The bomb's detonated, and it looks like the chip has broken and died along with Axon. Poor Vera buries her dad, and then as she meanders off to escape the island, she meets two Trustmasters and tells them who she is, what she's done, and who sent her, and that she needs to get off now. The Trustmasters contact the prison authorities, and there's no record of any of this, and so they start to shoot around Vera from merely feet away. She runs off with shots missing her as she does, and they stop, and she arrives at the coast and decides to find the Archists and join them to help her escape. Fucking hell, we're going to get another Blue series.
No.
Do you like the top two panels? Chief Maxwell, come quickly. Good grief. Is it happening? Yes. All the screens are blank and we can't see what's going on.
This was the guy who did Shade the Changing Man and Bad Company. And then it's so generic. And was there a twist that I even missed, or was like your mission is to go kill your dad?
The twist is that the robots, the droids or whatever, are so bad they can't hit her where all the shots are getting off, and then they stop after she gets to a certain point. They stop chasing her.
Yeah, there was no like once you cross this line, the droid's jurisdiction is over and they have to stop where they stand. It was just like, yeah, we're done. This series is done.
They've read the story too and decided it's not worth it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Holy shit. Yeah. It's they said, well, we're gonna do like a Justice League of shitty 2000 AD stories and bring back Skip Tracer and put her teamed up with it.
They went, hey, is this a Pete Milligan script? Yeah. Oh, fuck it. I'm not running anymore. Just let her go.
Oh God. But I mean, there was no. Usually I give them credit because like there's a twist or even a twist on the twist, but it was kind of like So the twist is that the father, does himself in by squeezing her hand, and the thing that she was sent to do, she ends up doing because he squeezes her hand, and that's it.
But
That's it.
Even that doesn't make sense, because what exactly happens? Because it looks, by her being where she is, some sort of explosions throwing her away from him, right? And he's
Yeah.
buried under a load of shit, right? So why is she not injured by any of the shrapnel? And then she digs him out to then bury him.
So, okay, yeah. So there's that. Okay, so I'm still trying to figure out what the twist is. So is the twist that they turn on her? The twist.
The twist is that Pete Milligan has conned Tharg into probably getting a second series of this crap.
Because he's an old timey 2000 AD guy, and everybody knows him from his time at Vertigo, and so he's valuable to the name is valuable to them.
Maybe.
But, so I think the twist. Okay, so to give him credit, I guess the twist is that once she accomplishes her mission, they turn on her, and now they can say she is the discover. But that's like so basic of a twist that it's like that it almost didn't feel like it should be qualify as. I mean, that's not even like future shock level exclamation point at the end of the story thing. That's just like, yeah, of course, in a story like this, that's what's going to happen. You accomplish your mission, and then the
Snake Plissken.
The evil government turns on you, and so whatever. So, and the twist is, I guess, that she's going to go join the hippies and be part of the rebellion or something. But
well, that's the twist is, like you said, not that bit, but the twist is that she did all that work, and they were basically going to just like kill her, right? We've done what you wanted, you've stopped everything, and that's it. But it doesn't make sense because of the robots just giving up on her. You know what I mean? Even that final page is mad because they're right with her, missing her. Then she's outrunning them because they've now suddenly gone into the shade. They stop. And when you look at that picture of the third bottom panel, it looks as though she's right near the end of the cliff bit where she's going to see the sea, because there's nothing in the distance. So they've stopped when she can't go any further forward. The storytelling's just terrible. You know what I mean?
It's hard to tell. Because the thing is, like, the two robots are right there framing the panel on either side of the panel, stopped. You can tell that they're not shooting. Their weapons are down, and she's unarmed, just like standing there looking at the ocean. And it's like, is she captured? Do they assume they've captured her? Is she going to escape somehow, and that's the next story, and join the hippie rebellion? Is she? But these are all questions that I'm not going to care about after we're done talking about it.
That's right.
So for the love of God, don't think you have to come back with this more of the story to answer my questions. Just we're good. I'm just making conversation right now, because because yikes. This ending is. I mean, this isn't me doing a bit like, what's the twist? Honestly, I didn't think that there was a twist, because this kind of ending for this kind of story is just like, well, that's the flow of all of these stories. The big bad government turns on you after you've done your mission. And oh my God. So
I do like the artwork though. I'd like to see him return on something different. Maybe give him a Dread.
Yeah,
Dread to do.
Good on something, or a Rogue Trooper story.
Yeah. No, just put him on Dread. Put him on Dread. I'd like to see him do a Dread story. What was your favorite?
Well, I'm going to go out of this with the lucky number 6, the Future Shock, because I enjoyed that cheeky little twist at the end, which you didn't see coming. You thought it would be a generic way of just gambling at the table, then dying at the table, but it didn't. He'd won. He was happy. He decided to do no more gambling, and then just the way you speak to people, that's what got him. So I like that.
Yeah, I'll go with that too. That was my favorite. What was yours, Rossy?
I'm going to be the contrary one and go with Brink, just because it is excellent, and continues to be excellent. So
It does indeed.
it's easy to take for granted how excellent it is.
It is, yeah. Okay, Prog 2476.
Let's rock.
Pew, pew, Barney McGrew, Cuthbert Dibble Grub.
Yes.
We have a cover by Cliff Robinson and Dylan Teague, which is a fantastic cover. I love it a lot. But the judge on the right hand side of Dread, it looks like he got his judge uniform that's 2 sizes too big for him.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks as though it's chucked in at the front, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
But I've got to say, even though Dread is front and centre and an absolutely stunning visual, the cityscape behind with just you can basically see 2 main blocks without any obscured imagery. Are just fantastic. And
it's different than the way you usually see them.
Yes, yeah, he's putting bits all over the place. Absolutely lovely. Colouring's fantastic. It does exactly like, because I've got both progs in my hand now, and I'm just sort of like you cover the bottom of the prog up, and there it is, a full-on Dreadhead shooting. If that doesn't make you want to pick it up, I don't know what will. You know what I mean? So it's everything's there. It's the I always say Dread sells the prog, so get them in the front. Every other character is shit when it comes to selling. So don't bother putting them on front.
Yeah, he does have a bit of a tangent going on, but we'll allow it. It's the top of Dread's helmet with the 0 for the 2000AD. Looks like it could be resting on his helmet.
Who doesn't like a big hole like that resting on their
resting on your helmet?
Yeah, that's kind of that's like a New Year's Eve glasses or something like that. You know, just put the big 2000 over here. I think the out.
He gets away with it.
Yeah, I think the out in force is the only thing that they could probably do without. But
yeah, because the T, you notice the U and the T and the U are too close together. It's like they did the kerning on it or whatever it is wrong.
Oh yeah,
because all the other letters, there's a little bit of a gap. Even with the C and the E for force, you can see with the top of the C and the E, there's a little bit of a gap, but there's no gap between the T and the U. So I wonder if that's a mess up. But it's not. Also, only I'd noticed that.
I wouldn't want to be reading out in force in front of right of this Tallywhacker. So
I'd rather have the bottom line taken away and pulled it out and forced down, so you got a bit more of the belt buckle on the belt. And well done to Cliff for having the trigger finger just barely coming through on the other side of the lawgiver, rather than what you see other people doing, where the second knuckle is pulling the trigger when it's your fingertip takes the pressure.
Yeah.
So well done, Cliff.
And he did that with the other judges as well.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Well, this is how you get people to look at your bumper issue.
And I've got to say, the bumper issue, when I went to the till in TJ Jones, or what the fuck they call it, and the gentleman was there, he went, "Oh, it's more expensive." I went, "Yeah." He goes, "When I used to read it in the magazine," and we had a little conversation about when he gave it up. He mentioned the big crossover, so it was many years ago. I said, "Oh yeah, it looks as though they're going to do a similar thing now." He said, "I was infuriated." That was the word he used. That they expected me to get the magazine to read the story. I said, "Yeah, but what they did was they made it so you could read each without reading the other." And he said, "Yes, but they know that as a fan, you'll need to have them both." And I went, "You are spot on, mate. That's why they do it." And we had a, 5-minute conversation until somebody sort of like tutted behind us, who'd only just turned up because I made sure there was nobody down for ages. But yeah, so there's another lapsed reader.
Yeah, well, it must be kind of hard to wallpaper the newsstand with 2000 ADs with only like 3 progs.
Three. It's horrendous.
Well,
it used to be 16.
Yeah, no more birdicing for them.
No.
Yeah.
Well, the reason they do crossovers like that is to bump the sales of the Meg, because the Meg isn't selling.
That's
well,
right.
You know what, John? Maybe they only order 3 because they're sick of you doing that shit. They're like, fuck. The people stocking the newsstand put in a complaint.
I'll have to wait till the Meg's out, a special, and the prog, so there'll be at least 10 issues. of
To
things.
do like one row.
Yeah. Ah, dear.
All right. Judge Dredd, The Epstein Files, Part 1, T.C. Eglinton, Paul Marshall, Quint Winter, and Annie Parkhouse.
Some wee trans lass with daddy issues and a full-on hate of people who manage to live the mega city dream. Yes, that's people who've made a few creds. Well, she used drones to wipe out a penthouse full of these disgusting rich folk who may have somehow been part of killing her sister. Her friend Sam helped out in a big way, and I hope that when the judges turn up that they'll find a certain special area full of juicy stuff, so long as it's a judge who cares about justice. Luckily for them, Dredd is called to the scene and he notices a survivor and informs the meds to sort it out as he is too busy, and then is shown a room full of incriminating stuff, including names of people who supply tech to Justice Department. Dredd basically says, fuck them, as they're all perps to him, just like the people who did this. Meanwhile, two women meet up in a secure garden and discuss the fire. The sole survivor is a problem, but Dredd is the bigger problem. So they dispatch Warlock and Ajax to bring back. So they dispatch one of their assets to kill the survivor and destroy any incriminating evidence, and then they'll decide what to do with Dredd.
You said a mouthful.
Yes.
Yeah, this is my Epstein Island episode.
Yep, I thought that as soon as I started reading it.
Yep. Which is clever. Very well done to T.C. Eglinton.
Well, I mean, this is the old-timey Dredd stuff where you take a current thing and you do a story about it, but so far we don't know if or what the agenda might be. It's just a straightforward, like, oh, I know what this is. It's like something now, but in the future. So, and I'm going to say it. Just look at your phones or whatever, because I'm going to do something lame.
Brilliant.
So the mask.
Put it away, Rossy. We can't see it anyways.
It's too painful to bring it out. So the
What are you? Is it stuck in the rabbit hole with you?
I'm gonna have, actually, after we're done with this one, I'm gonna have to go drain the bag. So
it'll be like a bit of toothpaste when he's just trying to squeeze the last bit out.
Well, we had a bit of an issue last time, so it may be the
have you got a name for it?
We told him he's not supposed to masturbate into the bag.
I know, but have you given it a name? Because you said we've had a bit of an issue, so I'm presuming you've got a name for it.
No.
Oh.
It's Wilson.
It's out.
He's on the toilet. Wilson, help me, Wilson.
So
the bag has a little blood hand mark like the basketball and Tom Hanks.
Oh dear.
Cast away, Rossy. Just cast it away.
That's it.
Yeah.
Go on then. Continue your bit then. After we rudely interrupted you.
It's not even at this point. It's not even worth it. So the short version is that one of the very first Power Ranger series in Japan was called Jack Fighter, JAKQ, and they were based on cards. Jack, Ace, King, Queen. So the Queen, the girl character, had a, they had like a Ace of Diamond.
Oh, it's like the Royal Flush Gang.
Yeah, right. So the girl had like a queen. She was the Queen of Hearts, and she had like a heart face plate on her mask. And this was before they had like the technology to use like the tinted the tinted visors that they have now. So they would just drill a bunch of holes in the mask so the actors could see out of it. And that's kind of what this reminded me of. So if you want to look up Jack Fighter, you could knock yourselves out. That's it. I thought this one was good. It's like full of setup and plot, and it sounds like it's going to be interesting. And I do remember these characters plotting on the last page. I guess that's Eglinton, whatever that English sounding. There's a lot of tons in this book, in this issue. There's Eglinton and Edgington.
Well, that's because we have to do some heavy lifting on some of the stories.
Get
it? Lots of tons. Get it?
Oh, I get it. Sounds like a bunch of English people wrote this prog. So anyway, yeah, I mean, he wins. Paul Marshall's awesome. He's a good storyteller, but he does win the Robin Smith Award for faces that kind of slant to the left a little bit, but otherwise I enjoy it.
Yeah, good stuff. You liked it too, John.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. The only thing that there was one panel where let's have a look. 4 top panel on the 4th page, sorry, where Dredd says, "What am I looking at?" He's on the Law Master. That I think the wheel should have been a bit more flatter rather than
square.
That was it. But apart from that, I like the artwork. I like the position of the characters in their frames. Obviously, all the underlying stuff we get, modern day stuff. But it'll be intriguing to see what happens, because I did like the way Dredd says, basically, I don't give a shit who these people are on that list. They're all perps, even if they're fucking donating loads. So that's my favourite part out of it. And then obviously the final page where we get the 2 female characters in the arboretum garden type thing. It's intriguing to see how would they basically try and deal with Dredd. Because it is dead easy to kill off Dredd, but I like to see these elaborate ways, like the Wile E. Coyote sort of style that these baddies try to do with their Acme fucking kit.
Also, we're back to the good old-fashioned way of writing Dredd, where it's like, unlike the current year where all this kind of stuff comes out and nobody does anything, in the future, you got Judge Dredd, and he's just going to do what's right, and whatever whoever happens to be the bad guy, he's not going to care.
Yeah, I wonder if the chief judge's name is on that list.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cleaning house. Okay. Helium, Red October Part 1, Ian Edgington, Disraeli, and Annie Parkhouse.
I've got this, Mr. Ross.
Please, for the love of God.
Mr. Grimsby finds Constable Hodge in the gardens. And
Rossy won't get that reference.
I know. And they discuss how they messed up, which ended in the deaths of loads of people they knew. And now they have to try and deal with it. Then they meet with Professor Bloom in the Prime Minister's office and are sent on a mission back down below the deadly clouds to gather intel. And as they're about to launch from a carrier, a Taurus approaches and kills the officer on the deck. And as the heroic 3 rush towards their capsule, it grabs Grimsby by the leg.
All right, where's it from?
Mr. Grimsdale. That's Mr. Grimsdale.
That's right.
It's Norman Wisdom.
Oh God.
I don't know what Norman Wisdom is.
Not that I know every single British thing that's come over here, but
Norman Wisdom was huge.
He was big in Albania.
Don't laugh at Rossy because he's a fool.
Now, I've got to say, I completely forgot about this story because, as we mentioned last prog, all those hours ago, it takes so long for the next part to come. But I fucking love it. I love the artwork. What I like, Edgington and Disraeli, their team-ups bring entertainment to the prog. I mean, it's a team. I don't think they've ever failed on the stuff that I've enjoyed. Now I look at it and I go, when I see them names, I go, I know I'm in for a good story.
Yep.
But it's just so fucking far between. You know, we've got the Martian story, the War of the Whales one.
Scarlet Traces.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, Scarlet Traces. And this, it's the characters, the style or the imagery that's there again. It's different imagery to what he uses in other stories.
Yeah.
It's like a slightly clockwork, steampunk clockwork stuff. Weird designs with futuristic takes on it, with a bit of history. And then you get, when you go inside to the buildings, you get the bright colours. It's the brightness of the character's hair. Everything about, I don't think anything sort of like is a letdown. Even like when you turn the page and you see that character get sort of like killed, and then like the green goo of him that's left as an outline of his face. I laughed at that, even though it was horrific. I just fucking love it. Even the sound effects, they're like, feet, and
they're all his. They're all his.
Yeah, everything about it. And
yeah.
I feel as though they enjoy writing together. Even when I did that interview with them at Lawless a couple of years back, it's just like they play off each other. It's a bit like when I read about and listened to Dan Abnett and Colin McNeil talking about when they did their big fucking space opera with the judges. What was that one called again?
Insurrection.
Insurrection.
Oh, yeah.
And Dan played with Colin.
Wait
Colin
a minute. An insurrection. You had an insurrection with actually weapons.
Yes.
What
I know. And ahead of the time. And you don't need weapons now. And when they were saying like Colin wanted to draw this, and this, and this. So Dan just wrote all that in the story. So he says, well, if Colin wants to draw it, he'll be drawing it to the best of his ability because he wants to physically draw it. So this is what I get with when these two pair up. They fucking come up with he comes up with the story, back and forth. I'm just surmising on this bit, but everything is a delight to look at on all the pages. Even when you're looking at a small panel on the, let's have a look, is that page 3? No, it's page 5, I think. Page 5, bottom right panel. There's just a background of a big window with the characters talking at the desk, and you've got like their balloon craft in the background with the propellers and all that sort of stuff. It's just everything's got something in there that's just visually enticing. I cannot fault it. I love it. I love it.
Those word balloons in that panel you're talking about would have been up top if this was like a regular 5-page.
Yeah.
Because that would have had next prog on the bottom. There.
Yeah.
Right,
yes.
You could tell where the break was.
Yeah. I love on the first page. I love the fisheye effect he has on the town.
Yes.
Because of the warp on the tower, the clock tower. Yeah. That's fantastic. And then the amount of depth he shows on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Page 7. That bottom panel. It's a big panel. It shows the characters up on the balcony thing, overlooking the ship. The depth in that is incredible too. I mean, he's an amazing artist, and the story is really interesting too. I think this is like exactly everything you said, John.
Yeah, and the storytelling on both levels, because it's been like you said, John, probably at least a year since we've read the last one, but effortlessly.
I think it might be more than that.
Yeah, but effort, and there wasn't really, if I remember correctly, it was kind of like a short revisit. It was almost like a recap. It was kind of like just back to recap and go like, hey, remember Helium? It's about this, and then
was it one of the specials?
No, it was kind of a long thing. It was like that undersea adventure. I do remember like some of the stuff that they're talking about, but I haven't reread any of it since. I haven't reread any of it, but I haven't revisited it since whenever it was in, which I'm assuming was at least a year, possibly years ago. Or as Gary Newman sang on his replica album, it must have been years. But anyway, so it was, but masterfully through the dialogue and the what the characters are saying. Just enough, I was like, okay, I remember who these characters were, what they did, what they got to do. It's a nice setup. Got you a little bit of action and suspense at the tail end of it, which was bright of them to make it just a big put it all into one part, because that's where the action was at the end of part 2. So these guys really know what they're doing, and between this and Scarlet Traces, they pretty much ruled the prog every time they come back. So
only Disraeli can make a donut look threatening.
I know, right?
Now, now I know some people will be saying, John, why are you not saying why they're not seeing that alien, that monster, the Taurus, until just then? Well, they are flying through clouds, so it probably just popped out of the clouds. So that's on that. Now, I've got to say, when this story fully ends, I hope Tharg brings out a proper omnibus of it, a collected thing of all the stories, because I will definitely be buying that because it's brilliant. I mean, I it's like Scarlet Traces. I bought those out when they've come out. There's a fourth one, I think, now, and plus there's finally, even though we're in the middle of the prog, they're bringing out a proper omnibus of the first part of the Fall of Dead World, which has got 360 something pages in. Now that is an omnibus. So
do you think that would be all of Dead World? Like they
it said volume
solicited-
1.
Oh, it did.
Yeah, it said volume 1.
Now
So-
that's what I call an omnibus.
So I'll definitely get that, and the price is reasonable as well. So from when I remember when I looked on eBay, not eBay, fucking hell, Amazon, because I won't be getting it from the fucking shop unless there's a signing. Oh, there could be a signing for it.
Oh,
So that would be fucking awesome. But I don't think it's, in my belief, I don't think it's a big enough thing for a signing. But I think it should have a fucking signing at one of the comic shops in London.
Yep.
You know that last panel, John, the very last panel of the story, the
Yes.
sound effect, the way he has the creature's tendrils going around the sound effect.
Touching it, yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible too. That's good stuff. And I will say, whoever designed the logo for Helium did an amazing job too. That's a great logo.
Oh, with the credit box, the way they did the
It
credits,
is, yeah.
it's awesome.
It is.
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
That's not a credit box, Rossy.
The way they did the credits.
No, that's not a credit box. That's the logo for Helium.
Yeah, the credit box is to the right.
Oh, I thought that was the characters. Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's different names in there. It's not
Yeah.
the
It's probably
name of
because
the
you're
creators.
it's probably because you're looking at it on your phone, aren't you? And it's tiny.
Oh, yeah. I can't even read what the hell that says. Okay.
Right, you have a Zenith poster by Warwick Fraser
Whoa,
Coombe.
whoa.
Go.
Two highlights. The bit when
Two
the guy
highlights.
gets melted, that was
Yes.
pretty cool. And then the diving bell that they're using reminds me of the one that from Warlords of Atlantis, which starred
Oh,
Toy
yes.
Doug McClure, which you might remember from such films as At the Earth's Core.
Mhm.
Yeah, it really looked like that. And I
I'm
only know
Troy
that because
McClure.
I saw it recently.
Hmm.
So, anyway, that
When
was
I grow up, I want to go to Bovine University.
Hey, I really need to drain the bag right now. So,
Well, who-
you better hurry up because you're doing Red Dragon.
am I? God damn.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. We'll do it. I'll do it super fast, and then you can talk about it while I do
Okay,
that.
go ahead, Rossy. I would read the credits after you're finished.
No, read the credits. Go ahead.
All right, Red Dragon, Rob Williams, Steve Yowell, and Patrick Goddard, Dylan Teague, and Simon Boland.
All right. So in 1979, in some unpronounceable Welsh town.
Go on, have a go.
surrounded by
Have a go.
mountains,
Have a go.
Llangenech.
I would say it's Llangennych.
So it's like.
Oh,
Spanish
you're not
version.
laughing at me pronunciation now, are you? Because I'm fucking awesome. I didn't
Right.
even go into fucking Pakistan or Scottish.
Well, that's because you're X amount of miles closer to Wales than you are to Pakistan. Although you're probably much closer to Pakistani people than you are to Wales. Oh, anyway, somewhere in Wales, it's surrounded by mountains. It's the same small town that the bullshit first story took place in.
Yeah.
John and his English soldiers are coming in, and then I don't know, this guy who's, I guess, the other town drunk spots them from the hillside because he's been sniffing glue.
What regiment do you think them soldiers are from?
Oh, are we that precise? They're not just like.
Well, the
generic
cat badge
soldiers?
gives it away.
Tell me, John, educate me. This is the most educational podcast ever.
It's the SAS.
Oh, see, that's why you put up with my sass. This is why we wanted the golden squirrel. Anyway,
It's coming.
it's coming. So anyway, we cut back to, I guess, a little bit before MI5 headquarters, where a bunch of English-looking people are talking about even I know that they're talking about Margaret Thatcher. So for reasons, they want to go capture the Red Dragon. So they're going to send soldiers out. And I forgot why the bald guy wanted them. Anyway, because Margaret Thatcher's taken over, they decided that they want to capture this guy and have him back fix his problems and have him back as a weapon. So the other town drunk in the trench coat goes running up to Red Dragon's flat, I guess you would call it, and he enters the door looking like John looks right about now, I would guess. And
Yep.
then yep. Well, no, actually you're shirtless now, aren't you?
Yep.
All right. So
And I've got a pint glass of Coke.
and he's in marvelously great shape as I am. And so he warns them. The soldiers come into town. They come in the back door. They come in the front door. Red Dragon goes up the stairs to his room, escapes through the skylight. You think it's going to be him using his fire powers, but it's a Molotov cocktail. He falls off the roof, runs to a dilapidated house, lights another Molotov cocktail, which I guess flames up in his arm. And you think it's going to be another Molotov cocktail, but no, he's got his Red Dragon powers back and leaves him with a warning, and wanders out of town. They basically do the Spider-Man No More shot with the helmet in the foreground, like the Spider-Man mask, and the trash can in the foreground, and him walking away in the background. And I guess that's him sitting sad in the bar. And then somebody reports back to this Pat Mills looking guy. That's Sir Peter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he reports to him, and he says, like, let me see what I can do. So there you go.
Yeah. All right, go drain your bag, Rossy.
Okay. May take a while.
I do like the different styles with Yowl and Goddard, like the flashback stuff. And
Yeah.
I had to double check to see it really was Steve Yowl because he actually drew backgrounds. The hell?
Yes.
Yeah, good stuff. And Patrick Goddard's artwork is amazing as usual.
Yeah. I like the way the opening. I like the way the opening page, and I don't like a certain bit about it. But I like the way we're just following the troops down into the valley. We sort of we're just sort of sat there watching them go past us. But they wouldn't be going down in single file. They would be using arrowhead or spearhead in open ground. That's me being a twat. I did like the movement in the streets. I thought that was really well done by Patrick. The movement in the building. I don't know why they're using the SAS. It's not. I wouldn't have thought it would be the thing. I thought if you're going to use somebody, you'd have been using the paras for more sort of brutality. And then you have the stances outside. It's all nicely done. I do like that. The way they're telling the other people to get away, get back in your doors. That's all working brilliantly. I loved the page where you've got the explosion happen and you've got that Thum the Thum effect, massive across the whole panel with the two squaddies getting blown towards the right of frame. That's really nicely done. So I enjoyed it all. I enjoyed the way the idea of the story. He's basically sick of it all. He will use violence if he needs to stop it, but he just wants to get on with his own life. And there was one, that's it, on the big panel where he says, you lost your powers. The badge and the berry, I mean, sorry, lads, but the badge and the berry it doesn't look like that because you've already drawn it at a different angle on the, if you can see it on the panel below, you've done a proper sort of marine, the way the Marines pull their berets down. So the badge really pops. So that panel above doesn't look quite right because you wouldn't see the badge. That's just me being picky on the art because, like I said in the previous prog, you can't give everything good stuff. But everything else I loved about it. I love the panel on the opposite page where in the pub the way the darkness is there, there's just a little bit of light coming through, the silence, the solitude. Yeah, I mean, I'm just being picky on bits, but I really enjoyed the story. I love the whole ethos of it, that once again, a person, it's no fault of their own that they're born with these powers, and he wants to be left alone to live a normal life, but yet the powers that be are like, we're gonna have you. But the thing is, innocent people, because the soldiers have been sent there to sort of like bring him in, they're told what to do, and they're getting basically barbecued to say like, this is the message you send back to your fucking bosses: leave me, or else I'll do the worst thing possible. So as a story, thoroughly enjoyed it, and it ended there. So who knows if we're going to get something again in the future? But it seems to me that this Red Dragon is going to be popping in and out of the prog quite over the next few years for definite, because that's Tharg for you.
Until his useless death in Zenith.
That's right.
Oh God, yeah. We know how this ends.
But that was pretty funny by Grant Morrison, where they had the, go get the old hero back. It's a bit like Rocky going back into training when he's an old man,
Yeah.
and then he gets fried in the first battle.
Yeah, they're trying really hard. They're trying to mine this Zenith thing, but it's like, why? It's like, it's not the main character. It's Grant Morrison, the co-creator of the character, doesn't even support this. He can't be bothered to come back and write it himself. It's you got to, and this isn't as badly written as his Dread stories. So this kind of shows that he does know what he's doing, but also I don't care. So I don't know what I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with this, making it a thing. But
I did like the posters, the Warwick Fraser Coombe poster. Like, it looked like he used like paper mache and all different things he glued to a artboard.
mm-hmm.
I don't like that. And I did like Yowell's pinup as well of the super team.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Dylan Teague did the colors on that. That's probably why it pops.
Yeah. The sad thing is that there's nothing really wrong with it. I mean, both of the artists did a great job. The pinups around it are pretty good. Even Rob Smith's writing didn't piss me off. It's like, it wasn't. It's not. It's not that I would call it enjoyable. It was just like, I passed the time, and it was pretty good. But again, when you know how it ends, it's unless they want to do some kind of stupid timeline thing, and like, oh, that wasn't this guy or something. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, but you've got to think now, Rossy, that lots of people have been the prog and the meg, so you got all these millions of new readers, and they will not know about the history, so they will think that this character will go on to great things.
No, because they're gonna buy the third repackage of Zenith and read that story and go like, oh, that's what happens to him.
Okay, Brink, the Call of the Void, Part 5, Dan Abnett, IJ Coulbard, Simon Boland.
Okay, so Bridget and Samuel Jackson are talking, and she asks him like, hey, have you seen the, what did they call it? The Mercury clip. She asks if they have the Mercury clip, and he's like, hey, keep it down. And nobody's actually seen the Mercury clip, but they've gone through the metadata, so they know what's on the Mercury clip. It's been examined, but she's wondering if maybe the two women who are questioning her have maybe seen it themselves. So they go back to the behavior analysis office where Monica Hahn is addressing her concerns, Bridget's concerns. They are using the sect terminology based on her expertise, but and the other person, Izzy, you mentioned some of the words like unreach and melancholia, and defines them, and then Bridget's like, we don't really know what those words means or what those ideas are. It's just like best guess for us. And then they go back to the lunar exhibit on the moon, where Castaneda is staying at the Fleabag Hotel, and she's looking at the moon exhibit, and Reacher comes up to her and tries to hit on her. He's got this running narrative where he's explaining how he's gonna get on the inside by hooking up with her. So Bridget's like, hey, this other person, Lauren Steers Maslow, all the information that they've got, a lot of it is coming from her, and she hasn't seen her since they got to the moon, so she wants to see her. And they cut to Lauren Steers Maslow being grilled by other investigators, and it pisses Bridget off because they're giving her like the 5th degree. So there you go. A lot happening, a lot of talking.
Yeah, I've got to say, any artist who puts on a big design on the back of a jacket of one of the characters, full well known that they'll have to keep drawing that from all weird angles. Well
You're
done, mate.
yourself
Because
up, man.
yeah, you're gonna torture yourself.
Shit.
But yeah, I enjoyed it again. All the things we've said previously. I did enjoy the that image, the very first image of all the characters, so that weird angle. I quite enjoyed that. Because they're all carrying some of them carrying their coffees and stuff. Just make it awkward for yourself. Very nice. And I also like the image on the 3rd page where you've got the space shot, because you can't help but looking at the stars going, is that such and such constellation? Is that this? Is that fucking Ryan's Belt? Because they're similar, but they're not quite. You know what I mean? You're looking at, or it might just be me. But yeah, again, we're down to like a 5 page, I think it was. So it just doesn't give it enough room to breathe. That's the only torture I have. Everything else I thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah, I loved it. Loved everything about it.
I will say this, that
yes, you will.
This is the bumper prog. And so far we've had 3 really good stories, but they've all been slow burns with like little bursts. Well, what Helium had like a little burst of something at the end, and the Dread story had a little burst of something in the middle, but they're very slow burn stories. So I'm like, you know what, maybe it's time for me to grow up and just say it's 2000 AD isn't the thrill-powered comic it used to be, but it still can deliver at least 3 good slow burns. Maybe it's the galaxy's greatest slow burn now.
All right, Rogue Trooper, Enemy Mind, Andy Ewington, Carl Richardson, Rob Steen.
As Rogue still wanders across New Earth looking for a decent storyline before the blockbuster film comes out. And by blockbuster, I mean on Blu-ray in Blockbusters the shop. He comes across an abandoned Naught droid. Gunnar tells him to waste it, but the droid tells Rogue that he's been left by his squad as a booby trap, and he doesn't want to die or kill Rogue. He tells Rogue that he was part of a patrol and that when they were attacked, his gyro chip was temporarily offline, but the Capitan decided to leave him booby-trapped, even with some intel that was still inside it. Back to now, and the pair defuse the bomb. Fucking whoopee-doo. And it reboots just before 5 Naught hoppers close in on them. The pair destroy 3 and the other 2 bug out. Afterwards, the droid gives Rogue the intel and then heads off in search of his Capitan for a bit of Rewengi. It's a bit like the Traitor General all over again.
But with robots.
Did we lose John?
No, I just exploded with anger at just the what the fuck? Everything about this. I'm just, do you know what? I am going to be annoyed because he comes across a fucking droid, you're wasted. It doesn't matter what it starts to come out with, you destroy it. It's a fucking naught thing. And it tells you it's being booby-trapped. As soon as it says that, you fucking either run away or blow it up. Then you get the fucking scene where the Naughts leave it behind and they don't take the chip out. And he says,
Yeah,
oh, we'll just
that has
booby-trap it.
information on it.
And you'll still leave the kit in it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what you do. Then you get them doing the fucking bomb disposal bit. Now, I'm looking at this because that's what I was part of, and I'm laughing my head off because you just think, Jesus Christ, here we go. Then you get the fucking 5 Naught hoppers, and, oh, hang on a second. It's like when the helicopters attack King Kong and they fly right at his fucking level and 20 foot away so he can swat them out the sky. You've fucking got fire and forget stuff. You've got fucking multiple fucking miniguns. You've got everything and you miss them. Now, anyone who's watched any of the clips of anything from the last 20 or 30 years of military tech by the Americans and the British out around the world, and you watch the fucking TV footage and the fucking shells come down and they destroy everything in that area. They don't miss anything. But yet in this world, every shot misses these 2, but yet their shots can take out 3 hoppers. I'm fucking sick of shit writing.
When did they? This is the first time we've seen droids like this in Rogue Trooper as well. So it's like retcon stuff.
Right? Yeah. I was kind of like, is this...
It'll be in the movie.
Oh, God. Yeah, well, it's like you said, John. I will always acquiesce to you as far as military stuff goes. You know, if you say this is not kosher, then I'll be like, oh.
You should be acquiescing to him for everything, Rossy.
Yes.
Yeah, he is always right. So, and I will always acquiesce to you for political and or animation stuff, Flint. But I have seen a war movie or 2 in my day, and this is not like any, since it's probably based more on Tom Tully's idea of what a war movie is like than any kind of actual historical stuff. It still doesn't even follow that logic. You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of stuff. So
yeah.
So okay. So by the way, sidebar, since we were talking about Rogue Trooper, as some of you know, Simon Belmont, who's known in the 2000 AD circles, will be coming to San Diego Comic-Con in the summer. And
is he going to be sleeping on your vomit couch?
No, he's going to be
they're staying together in the fucking B&B down the road, aren't they?
Well, we're gonna when we go there, yes.
Those aren't pillows.
By that time, I'll be like Buster Gonad with his unfeasibly large testicles with my cat.
Oh, you saved it all up for him.
Yeah. So he's
So he's going to get tangoed, is he?
You won't see it in his white hair when you arrive on him.
It'll be like there's something about Mary though. It'll be right. He'll have that Tintin haircut, and he'll think it's cool because it looks like Tintin.
Yes.
So I don't know if this is like an English thing, but he's been planning like so far ahead for this. It's like, geez, man. And I'm not sure where he got this information from, but he found like, and because usually they don't have the panels or the programming laid out this far ahead for the Comic-Con, but he did find the day and date of the 2000 AD panel, which as usual is Thursday. It's like the slowest time on the slowest day, and literally in the room that's at the farthest end of the convention center, which is like 3 cities blocks long. And it just says, so Chloe is going to be there. It doesn't say Mulcher is going to be there. There's another person in charge of marketing. I can't get to it because I don't want to touch my phone. But there's some guy who's not Mulcher who's in charge of marketing who's going to be running the 3. I think they gave them 3 panels, And again, it's like one of them, Jock, spotlight on Jock, who's like always seems to be like their guy. And then
Because he's known in America.
yeah, pretty much. Well, he's probably going to be there for something else for DC.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm sure flying Carlos over wasn't cheap, but I do appreciate that because it was my one and only chance to see him before he died, and he did do a nice little sketch in my Durham Red book. But the point I'm trying to get to is, other than 2000AD publishes Rogue Trooper, there's no mention of special sneak peek of the Rogue Trooper movie, which maybe they don't want to let that out of the bag this early. Maybe they're not sure if it's going to be done enough or actually released this year, and they don't want to embarrass themselves by saying, hey, coming this fall. And then it's like, oh, maybe 2027 is more like it. I don't know. But the point is that nowhere in the three, they actually have 3 panels, I think, going on, and nowhere do they mention that it's going to be Rogue Trooper movie stuff. So there you go.
Well, so long as we can keep getting stories like this that will wind me right up, then that's the main thing. That's what I say. And anyone with a sense of being able to read a story will have seen all those things that I pointed out and got annoyed about and said the same things. You know what I mean? It's like, why would you leave the... we'll just do it. 1, why did you leave the intel with the droid? Just take it away. That's the initial thing. Doesn't make sense. Then Rogue gets told by the droid, I'm booby trapped to go off, don't come near me, and he does come near him still, right? Even though it says I know the sequence to make myself sort of like undo this bit, that and the other, but you don't know it's fucking lying, right? So it's bollocks. Then we get the fucking classic movie fucking bit, cutting this, that, and the other. I've yet to see anything like that in my bomb disposal stuff. There is wires, but there's many other bits and bobs which I won't go into. Then you get the droid stands up right in front, which I didn't say, and it towers over Rogue, and you think, well, it could have all part of the lie. It could have destroyed him then. Then you get, and this is one of the generic things in Rogue Trooper, is the hoppers coming in and him being able to blow them out the sky. Yet they've got fire and forget missiles. They've got miniguns, more powerful than what that fucking droid's carrying, because obviously they've got the backup of carrying all the weaponry inside the ship, the rounds inside the ship, and they destroy 3 of them, and the other 2 go. But yet they came so close rather than fire from like a mile away. That sort of stuff. It's just things like that, and then at the very end we get basically, it's going to go off on its fucking traitor general. And do you know what would really push me over the edge? Is if we had a little one-off story of it getting its revenge. That would be the end of me. I think I would fucking...
that would do it. That would be the thing.
Yes. Yeah. And they
all those Rob Williams stories with bullshit. That would be the one thing.
And what they do to really rub it in was they'd have that droid on the front cover. Rogue spin-off this prog.
It'd be what actually might be both hilarious and pathetic is if they do have to push the movie back and they start coming up with they start putting in, like, desperately just start shuffling in more Rogue Trooper stories, that just because they have to have something that leads up to the release of the movie. It's like he gets a dog and he's got an invisible friend that only he can see, and there's a girlfriend, and we're gonna do the more of those junk collector story, those 2 guys who are the junk collectors because they're in the movie, and you're like, oh my god, no. The movie can't be this good to be worth all this.
So, all of that aside, I did enjoy the artwork.
Yeah, the artwork was good.
Some nice imagery where the captain looks down and you've got that sort of like angled head on the 4th page, bottom panel. I like that. There's other ones where Rogue on the 3rd page, top panel, where he's pointing gunner at him and his arms outstretched. That to me is very. That takes me back to reading all my Vietnam books that I had, and there's a picture of two GIs and one stretching up for the other one to help him. Very classic image. And then I did like the page where you got the 4 panels of them leaving the droid, the weather moving through, he's not moved at all, and then Raw coming upon him. So there's tons of stuff to like in the art. It's just the story is just so bad. And yet again, I'm thinking, do you actually read these stories, Thag, before you let it go to be the art done? Because none of it makes sense. It's quite easy to move things around and go, well, we'll do this, we'll do that, and that would be better. You know what I mean? But there's too many big mistakes in this that just like jump at you instantly, where you just go, what? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it might have been, I don't want to second guess anybody at their job, but it might have been a case of like, we didn't have a Rogue Trooper story last issue. This is a one and done that'll just be forgotten in a month, and I need to fill the pages, and it's easier. We're out of all the Rogue Trooper inventory stories because a lot of these have read like they're probably were sitting on somebody's desk for a while anyway. So let's just run with it. Let them complain about it this week, and then in a month, they'll still be buying the prog, so it'll be fine. So, but yeah, well, the artwork was pretty good. Oh, so this is the other thing too. The tragedy of the Rogue Trooper movie is the more I talk to the older millennial fans of pop culture stuff, they already have G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
So there is no when I'm looking at these the ships coming in and the Rogue Trooper tech and all the things that we the tech that the artists have come up with over the years has been part of the fun part of Rogue Trooper. There's nothing about it that's going to win them over from G.I. Joe. There's no reason to, and G.I. Joe isn't like that damaged of a brand that there'd be like Star Wars is. Like, well, and Star Wars kind of sucks, but if there was a great new awesome sci-fi space opera saga that came out, people might jump over to that. They have no reason to abandon G.I. Joe, and they have no reason to embrace this. So that's the demographic. That's the demographic you have to, if you're not going for kids.
Missus.
Yeah, I know. I regretted it the moment I said it, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Because I will talk about that later. But this, yeah, it no matter how, it's going to have to be so good that, and I don't know how it's going to have to transcend the source material by so many degrees that I don't know how that's going to happen. But I always wish the best. I would love to be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what was your favorite?
Well, you didn't mention the final page, the image.
Yes.
What's next?
Oh yeah,
An action
silver.
story.
Yeah. So at least that's coming quickly after the first one, or what seems to be quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking forward to that.
I hate that there will be blood with the black around it sitting on top of the silver returns next issue. That drives me fucking nuts. But at least it's good coming back.
Yep.
Yeah. And then getting back to the this prog, man, there can be only one, and that's Helium. I've absolutely thoroughly enjoyed it. Everything about it was perfect storytelling. Artwork's beautiful. There's so much to look at. Visual masterpiece. And I also enjoyed Brink as normal, and I also enjoyed the Red Dragon as a one-off. So I was very happy. All in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good stories in it. This issue. It's hard to pick one, but I'll go for Helium.
Yeah, I'll go with Helium. I thought it had a solid Dread story, well-written Dread story so far. Intriguing, but a slow burn. And Helium was a slow burn, but it's a great setup and had some action in it. Brink, slow burn, but excellent. The Rogue Trooper story was a stumble, and I didn't mind the Red Dragon one. The artwork was excellent from everybody. So, and the story itself, it's like written by a completely different writer than the guy who writes Dread, but again, it's the whole concept of it. I just kind of, it's not that I don't care, it's just like I'm not excited by it. So,
well, it's Welsh people, isn't it?
Yeah. I guess you'd be concerned if you were a sheep, but you know.
Fucking hell, that's overstepping the mark, isn't it? only us neighbours can say that about them. That's your culturally appropriation of our culture.
Look, I kid because I love Catherine Zeta-Jones, Tom Jones.
That's the King of Wales.
All the Joneses, Doctor Who, Torchwood was made there. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I was in Cardiff. Me and Sam, we stood outside of the Doctor Who exhibition, and we didn't bother going in. And I said to Calvin, "Take a picture of us, because I'm not going to go in that fucking shithole."
Oh, you're not going into that phone booth with the last Doctor, huh?
Yeah.
So, there you go.
All right, Kickstarter corner, Rossy. You got any?
Do I? The Ben's Spy Bunnies ended, and he's gearing up to do Tomorrow Man, and the artwork in that is really amazing. If I can get it assembled so you can get a sneak preview of it,
Who did the artwork in it?
That Alessio Nocerino guy, the guy who did the Luna Diamond.
Oh,
stuff.
so it should be really good.
It's really good. So, and I think that I mean, you know, the stuff that's out there's still out there. There's nothing coming up that I'm like that excited about. I think, you know, whatever the 77 has coming up, I'll back, and I think that's it. So, how about you?
I'm still waiting on that Eduardo Risso book. That should have been here this month. So we'll see how that's gonna go. Caretakers Tales 2, I should have the proofs in this week. I've already got an email saying they were sent out. So I'll start fulfilling all the sketch cards and stuff like that were done this week and get that done. Apart from that, nothing else.
Yeah.
That's it done. What about movies and TV, John? What do you got?
Well, I was bored the other night, and so I had a little flick around, and I found something to watch while I was.
So did I.
Yeah, while I was prepping holiday stuff, and it's the Old Guard 2, 1 hour 47, 2025, 15 rated, and a massive 5.1 rating on IMDb, starring Charlize Theron, Kiki Lane, Uma Thurman, etc., etc., etc. Basically, it's just a setup for another fucking sequel. You get one of the immortals who was under the sea for the whole, like, so many hundreds of years. She eventually is recovered, and she's not happy with their friends, Charlize Theron. I think they were lesers, or the technical term is lesbians, and she sort of like due to the unhappiness, teams up with the big bad, who was Uma Thurman. And things happen throughout. There's action sequences. Charlize Theron has lost her immortality, and the only way she can get it back is that if another one of the immortals in the team willingly gives his immortality, or her, sorry, I'm just giving it away, gives their immortality to her. And so we go through the film, blah blah blah, action sequence. Oh god, here we go. And at the very end, all of the team have been taken away by Uma Thurman on this big, massive 20-minute set piece at the end, which was basically like wound me up so much. It was like I was reading the end of Rogue Trooper, because there was 2 helicopters there. All they got 3 of the team they were in this room, and they'd got like what was it? They used liquid nitrogen, I think it might have been. And they stood in the exact positions that they needed to for these 3 like steam jets come out of the ceiling and envelop them, and they were knocked out unconscious, sort of like semi-frozenish looking. And I was like, hang on, why didn't the whole room fill up with that? Why did they amazingly stood in the exact positions they had to? Anyway, so they get put in bags and they get sort of like vacuum packed. And then sort of Charlize Theron now has to go and rescue them, and there's this big sequence on the edge of this building with a massive cliff drop, and the helicopters are there, and it was just like, Jesus Christ. And I kept looking at the end to see how much was left, and I'm thinking, there's no way this can wrap up in the time we got left, or it'll have to be very quick. And then it was basically the girl who'd been recovered from the ocean and Charlize Theron are together, and they're like, right, we got to go and get the lads. And I was like, fuck! A fucking blatant sequel. But luckily, like I say, I was doing lots of holiday research, so it didn't bother me too much.
It's based on a comic book or a graphic novel or something, isn't it? Maybe
I
that's
have
why.
no idea.
Maybe that's why it's like it's also, you know, their big action franchise, and it's female led, and it's got lesbians, so Netflix is like, yep, gotta give them more of that.
I think there was 2 gays in it as well, but I can't remember off the top of my head because I wasn't watching the screen that much.
Hey, that's how you're supposed to watch Netflix.
Yeah,
it's the Foley Laundry Network.
Yeah. But that was the film, and then TV wise, Marshall's still watching that, enjoying that. It's basically like a one and done each week with a tiny bit overlapping in the background. Daredevil Born Again. I watched the 2nd episode last night. I've got the 3rd to watch. But what I enjoy it. It is very elaborate. The sort of the plot where they're doing bits and bobs, where characters are like, all the bad characters are shits, you know what I mean? There's no redeeming quality of any of them, which I like, because my life's lovely, so I don't care. But the action sequences are very good, you know what I mean? It's probably one of the best fighting sequences currently on the TV. And then what we got something starting, I think it's next week, isn't it? Let me just open my calendar.
The Boys,
in fact, The Boys starts this fucking Wednesday, so I'm looking forward to that. So, but yeah, so I've got a few things, and we're already up to 6% on the telly box with recordings. But 2 of those are series where it records everything because it was on Sky Atlantic. So I've recorded something with the missus, one of their made of things, and I've actually, even though I did have Penguin to watch here where I'm sat, and then I deleted it all because I just couldn't be asked. It was on, the whole season was on the telly, so I thought, well, I'll just record it and then I can just watch it when I want because it's in there. So that's on. So that's why I knocked it up to 6%. But other stuff is just like comedy stuff. There's a couple of comedy specials of people that we like. So yeah, we're slowly getting there. But
all right.
Oh, is that Carolyn? No.
What have you watched, Rossy?
Oh, why don't you do yours? Because I've got a few. I haven't.
Oh, what's he got?
But I'm going to go through most of them pretty quickly, though.
All right.
Tell me about the thing I want to know about.
Well, I watched the Tura Santana documentary, and it was very disappointing
Oh.
because everything about her is more or less a lie.
Oh.
Yeah, she was supposed to be the Japanese beauty, but she wasn't Japanese.
Oh.
So wait a minute, is this disappointing because the documentary reveals it to be a lie, or is it disappointing because the documentary is poorly made and sucks, or both?
I think it's both. I think a lot of stuff that she mentions and that people say about her is all you get the impression that they're embellished or they're lying, and then you have stuff that doesn't. Why are you interviewing this one person? Right. So there's a bit of that. John Walters is on it, and he's pretty good. John Waters. Sorry.
So if she wasn't Japanese, what was she?
Filipino, I think Chinese.
Wow. Okay.
But she made her living as the Japanese beauty.
Right.
Right. So some of the anecdotes about Russ Meyer were pretty funny. And but overall it was disappointing. They interviewed her daughters, and she was a really bad mother. She was a terrible person, and the way that this is what I hate. The daughters were excused. It's like, well, she had nobody really to learn by because her own mother was terrible. That's no fucking excuse. She was absolutely horrendous as a mother, and very very selfish. Me. Um, it was not the best documentary. I mean, if you liked her in Faster Pussycat Kill, I mean, it's the old adage, you know, when the legend meets real life, you print the legend kind of thing.
Right.
So I found it very disappointing. I watched.
Did she sort of disappear? Like, my impression is like she made those Russ Meyer movies, and there was like a little bit of
Well, she was
vapor
only
trail
in. I
after
think
that.
she was only in. I think she was only in Faster Pussycat Kill. I don't think she was in any other Russ Meyer movie. But the funny thing about that is that's really interesting, and that's his biggest hit. And I had no nudity in it.
Mm.
So,
But
and also it was when it was first released, it did okay, but it really made its money and made it into the culture when DVD came about, like VHS, when Blockbuster and
right.
all that stuff. That's where it got its renaissance.
And it keeps going in and out of print because, like, the first DVD of it, I'm not even sure how legal it was, but that was worth a fortune for a while. And then they said, "Oh, we're going to re-release it," and then that came out. Like, I don't know if they just didn't print enough or whatever, but and now the one of those other ones like Severin or Vinegar Syndrome or one of those, they're doing like the Russ Meyer collection. I don't know if they've gotten to that one yet, but you know, I've got a DVD of it, but it's definitely a bootleg.
Yeah,
And
it's one of my favorite movies, but it was ahead of its time because I had, you know, 3 female badasses,
right.
right? And so I had the whole lesbian thing in there too, and all the men are just either stupid
Sleazebags.
or sleazebags or stupid. Like the hunk in it. I think his name in the movie is the vegetable. That's what
Wow.
that's what he's credited as. I think, you know, the way they have like Tura Santana is blah 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 or blah blah blah. So the vegetable is played by blah blah blah. So it's
Dang.
yeah, it's one of my favorite movies. But I mean, Tura Santana. I mean, she did leave a foothold a bit in pop culture, but good grief, about her life, you don't know what's real, what's made up, because she exaggerated or made up shit all the time. It's just
But
it's
that
a
go
terrible
ahead.
documentary.
But that's kind of true. It feels like that's true about a lot of people. It's not exactly that era, but like that kind of pop culture character. Because there's a documentary about Vampira, and you know, a lot of the stories about Ed Wood are just, it depends on who you talk to.
Yeah,
Whoever's telling the story comes out looking great, and
yeah.
whoever you know, whoever it's about may or may not. And there was another one that like uh, Hidden Navidad, I think, had one. So it's
Oh,
kind
she's
of,
in it. She's in it too. She's interviewed in it.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there was I forgot whether it was the documentary or that big ass Taschen book about her. It's kind of like you said, print the legend, because the rest
Well,
of the
there's stuff in it where they were do burlesque, and when things changed, when they didn't want burlesque anymore, they wanted to put in a stripper pole, and they wanted full nudity, and then you got to interact with the audience, kind of thing. And then she quit; she wouldn't do it
right,
anymore. And same with Kit and Navidad; they didn't want to go nude, and
right.
they didn't want
But
to do
Kid
that
Navidad
because
went like full porn though.
oh yeah, later.
Yeah. The thing
But
is that it feels like with Tourist Satana too. Like she made those. Maybe it wasn't Russ Meyer. It was that Ted Nichols guy, and they did like the
she was in some TV. She was in Man from Uncle,
yeah.
couple other TV stuff, and
But then
she did make I think one or two more movies after, but.
and then like the cult film crowd kind of re-embraced her in the 80s and
Right.
90s. And
Well, her
then
look is classic. That whole black, like the from Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. That's what she'll be mainly remembered for. But that's a classic look.
yeah. And did they do the whatchamacallit Mike Hoffman thing where she's like Madame Tarantula, and Mike
No,
Hoffman did like a
mm-mm.
bunch of comics based on her. Not a
Yeah, no,
bunch, but
they didn't do
a
anything
few.
like that with her at all.
Hmm.
She got a lot of recognition in the LGBTQ community.
Hmm. Was she a
They're
lesbian
the ones. Yeah, they're
for
the ones that more or less brought her back from when the videos came
obscurity?
out. Yeah,
Okay. All right.
so but it's you can watch. I watched it in increments. I watched like 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, because I found some of the stories to be like, oh, this sounds like a lie. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, there's a story that Elvis proposed to her and all this kind of. She was with Frank. She got around a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, she said her daughter's father was Tony Bennett, and then turned out that she had a DNA test and it wasn't Tony Bennett. It was the comedian that used to open up for Tony Bennett.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
so just stuff like that. She got around a bit. Yeah, it's not as good as the Betty Page documentary. The better Betty Page documentary was amazing, but it makes me
Betty Page
think.
was a nut.
Yeah, she's a psychopath. But the thing is, like, it helps me. I wonder if, just say Dave Stevens had I used Tourist Santana instead of Betty Page as his model for Rocketeer, would Betty Page have taken off? Would there be a renewal of Betty Page? You know, if things would have switched, that people would be talking about Tourist Santana, and you know what I mean? She'd have tons of comic books instead of Betty Page.
I don't know if Tourist Satana would have taken off the way Betty Page did, but I don't think Betty Page would have been remembered at all if it hadn't been for Rocketeer.
Right. Yeah, probably. So
yeah.
that was interesting. The show I watched was Last One Laughing, the finale, the finale of that, which was great. I will give a spoiler. You want to hear a spoiler?
Sure.
Bob Mortimer doesn't make it to the end. There's three people left, and he's the third one, and he goes out. And what's funny is when he goes out, he didn't go out trying to hide a laugh. He just roared out laughing. He just couldn't hold it in. He just went boom, just started roared out laughing, and it was with David Mitchell. David Mitchell is the one that got him out. And it was Bob's own fault too, because he said to David Mitchell, "Do you ever have a name for your for your tallywhacker?" And David Mitchell says, "What?" He says, "Yeah, what do you call it? A Chadwick." Like that. And David Mitchell, you mean like when I use it and go pee, it's a Chadwickery or something like that. And Bob Mortimer just cracked up laughing for just out, and he was out. But that was a really good season. The two guys at the end, Dave Mitchell and the other comedian, they wouldn't crack. They couldn't, so I have to go to some kind of tiebreaker. But it was pretty good. That was pretty good. And I finished off House of David. It's the story of King David, how he got the power, and I think there's going to be 3 seasons. This is the end of the 2nd season. I don't know if they started filming the 3rd yet, but it ends with the Civil War, where Saul and David are at loggerheads against each other. But it's really cool how they, in the 1st season, how they did Goliath, because Goliath had brothers as well. So there's like 3 giants. It reminds me of Game of Thrones. Like, if you watch it, you can see, well, this is where George R. R. Martin got Game of Thrones from. Some of the stuff that goes on in it. There's a lot of great battles in it. the guy who plays David's older brother, he's like Jason Statham. Like he's like a big action guy. Like in the first series, he's like taking on all these Philistines, and he's just fantastic. And then the second season, he's really good too. But they build up like a whole cast where with David on his soldiers, and they did it really really well. And the guy from Avatar, the bad guy from the first Avatar movie, he plays the prophet Samuel, and he curses one of the guys in it, and the effects in it are so good. I mean, the production values, you wouldn't expect it, right? Because it's a religious Christian type production, and yet the production values.
No, wait a minute. This is Hollywood.
The
telling
production
a story
values
about the Jews.
No, the production values.
They're going to throw their best at that.
No, this is not today's Hollywood. This is unbelievable. The production values are so good. I mean, you can put up against anything that they're doing today. It's actually better in some ways, and it's done by the production company in the Hollywood studios, and it's not a Hollywood studio.
Mm-hmm.
It's an independent studio that did it. So it's just fun. I'm amazed at how well they did it. They did a really good job.
The Israelis,
but it's good. It's a really good series.
Okay.
I highly recommend it. And the woman who plays Saul's wife is the Kingpin's wife in Daredevil. So they got some good actors, and the actor that plays Saul does a fantastic job too.
Better call him.
I highly recommend it. Great series.
Bob Odenkirk.
Bob Odenkirk. No. No, I don't think I've seen him in anything before. But it's House of David, and the guy that they got to play David is he's got your typical. He looks like your typical Jewish guy. He's not really handsome or pretty. He's just the guy that they got to play Jonathan, Saul's son. He could be like Mr. Movie Star guy. You know what I mean? But he plays second fiddle to David. But it's where did I see him before? Michael Iskander is the name of the guy who plays David.
Oh, wait a minute. That name's familiar.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yeah. Kimberly, he's in theater. He did theater stuff.
Oh. Well, it's too highbrow for us.
Yeah. Ali Suleiman is the name of the guy who plays Saul. He's Palestinian.
Yeah.
So he's Palestinian is a Palestinian Muslim.
Wow.
And he's playing a Jew.
You think they'd be overturning cars in Hollywood right about now, but okay. or the Valley.
He's been in a couple of TV stuff. He was in like Jack Ryan from 2018. Some movies, but they're not big movies. But he's a good actor.
Okay.
Yeah, he's pretty good in it. But yeah, I highly recommend it. And you know the guy from The Mummy, the pretty Arab-looking guy from The Mummy, the first Mummy.
I know you mean the bald-headed bloke. Is it him?
No, not him. No, the hero guy.
Yeah.
That was with
the face tattoos on his cheeks.
Yeah. He's in it. He's Saul's advisor in it. But he's gotten really old, but he's great.
He was in one of the Resident Alien films, wasn't
he? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got some really good actors in it. I highly recommend it. So have you been watching, Rossy?
Oh, well.
Oh, and here's the thing, Rossy. I'll tell you something. I had a couple of beers and I ended up buying the fucking Dick Tracy movie.
What, because I was talking about it a few weeks ago?
Yeah.
Hey, I guess
there you go. There's your pitch.
When are you going to get the He-Man movie? The Masters of the Universe?
I might already have that. I'll have to look and see if I have it.
My millennial friends are just shitting themselves over everything that comes out for the new one. So I hope it turns out that it's not a snafu.
It doesn't look it from the second trailer. It looks as if they're doing a genuine He-Man movie.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I mean, we'll see. I mean, you only need it. As you and I know from.
Listen, it can't be worse than the cartoon.
Well, no, but like if you, but if they're, I don't know which would be worse, to promise you a proper He-Man movie that you always wanted to see, and then have, make it 87
He-Man
minutes.
kissing Man of Arms.
Well, just 87 minutes of He-Man in the real world as Prince Adam, that kind of thing, and
2
they-
minutes in the Eternia.
Right, because as you and I both know, and John too, as people who have watched a full moon movie in our lifetime, they need exactly as many special effects as will fill the trailer, and then the rest of the movie is just boring shit.
I thought it was a canon movie.
Canon was just a mixed bag of whether it'd be fun good, or torturous good, or fun bad or torturous bad. Full moon movies, like they knew exactly how many special effects to have to make the trailer, and then the rest of the movie was just kind of whatever. Some of them were okay. Some of them, especially for the time, the guy I do the live streams with hates that expression. Oh, for the time, but it's like, if 100 movies are being made that are kind of like the same thing, where it's like there's 2 minutes of good special effects, and maybe the rest of the movie's done with style and panache and has good looking actors and good dialogue and it's entertaining, or it's just a boring ass slog. That's kind of like what happened a lot during that time. So, the good ones were the fun ones. So anyway, you mentioned Avatar earlier. I did watch the new Avatar movie, the third one.
I'm sorry.
Well, I'll go through it quickly. I enjoyed. So the first Avatar movie was inspired by John Carter of Mars, so much so that the Asylum first they called it Princess of Mars, and then I think they actually called it John Carter of Mars, or vice versa. One of the two. They changed the title of the movie after Avatar came out, I think, to cash in more on the actual John Carter movie. Anyway, so I have a lot of love for the first Avatar movie, and I saw it in 3D and IMAX and all that, and it was a lot of fun. But like a lot of people say, it was pretty forgettable, and there was just something about it that as opposed to the John Carter stuff, I just kind of didn't want to live in that world. There wasn't anything about the Na'vi that I wanted to know more about and, see more about. But then they made a sequel to it. Oh, actually, and in the first one, the first Avatar movie came out before the John Carter movie, and there was like the big battle at the end with all the animals joining the humans and trashing the evil white Earth army people and all that kind of stuff. And I thought to myself while I was watching it, like, man, these special effects, they will totally be able to do John Carter when the time comes. So that's my attachment to the whole franchise was there. So the second one came out, and I saw it in the theater, and I liked it. And I saw it on video again, and I liked it again too. I watched it with my dad. The battles were fun. It had beautiful imagery. It's just loaded with stuff that have never been put on film before. So got to hand it to James Cameron for his ambition. It felt a little bit long. Didn't hate the kids, but didn't love them so much that the long stretch of the movie that's about them in the middle, it started to feel long when it focused on them. And but then when they got to the battle at the end, it was like, not very, very few people can do a battle like James Cameron, and especially a sea battle. So I liked it. And everything I said about the first movie and the second movie, I can say about the third movie, because it's pretty much more of the same, except, it's called Avatar Fire and Ash, and there's this like sexy witch woman who leads the fire people. And there are now so many characters and so many story threads in this thing that they kind of just let everything go with 5 or 6 lines of the most essential things, like the fire witch woman, she's like, my tribe was wiped out by fire, and the planet goddess tree didn't do anything about it. And that's more or less all you need to know. The end. So, and then there's another side story with the Earth kid, the kid who isn't one of the Na'vi, Spider, who's like the villain's son. His mask isn't working right, so they decide to send him back with his own people, and nobody seems particularly sad about that. And then it's like, no, he's going to come back, and It's a lot of back and forth stuff. So I'm going to say this one was probably the weakest one because the story felt a little not half baked, but it was like rewarmed, and then there were things about it that didn't make that much sense. And then the big thing, can I give you a spoiler?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So the big thing is that they all pray to this goddess tree, right? Which you've seen in the other two movies.
Yeah.
You've seen in the other two movies. And they do this thing where they have their little ponytail, a little braid on the back, and they attach it to hook it up to the main wire, and they can communicate with it. So there's this thing that happens to Sigourney Weaver's weird 14-year-old avatar self, where she tries to contact the goddess through the tree, and there's a storm, and she's in the other world, the other netherworld, and she's calling out to the goddess, and there's a wind and trees blowing around, and she's trying to get through, and the branches are blocking her, and she gets kicked out, and they tell her like, hey, if you communicate with the goddess and if you try to do it underwater, it's going to kill you. So that keeps her out of the water and keeps her away from the goddess. But then like during the battle, the tides turn against the heroes, and it's looking bad, so she decides to do it. And then like two of her other family members join her, so the three of them are in there, and there's same thing, there's wind and storm, and they're calling the goddess's name, blah 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 blah. And so you get to see the goddess, and it looks like it's sort of like a giant Na'vi. You see like part of the head, and the head sort of turns and side eyes them, and then the battle starts to turn back into the hero's favor. And I'm thinking like, well, what kind of goddess is this that it takes like three kids going through this wind and storm? Like, the battle's happening like right above the tree on the water, so you would think that this goddess should know what's going on and that her people are getting their asses kicked. And then all of the bad guys die in like the most horrific ways, like nature turns, and all the bad evil white earth men get killed in the most horrendous way possible. And I'm thinking like, well, I know cinematically you want to see, vengeance, the vengeance of nature, and cruel nature turns on the evil mechanical people who worship machines and want resources. But I'm also thinking like, if this is as hippy dippy as they're trying to make it out to be, where the goddess loves all and warmth and light and I don't. Maybe like the equipment could just stop. The machines just conk out in the water and whatever. But the rules of action movie cinema say otherwise, so I get it. But it's just really, it kind of doesn't really follow its own rules or its own logic, if you think about it for 5 minutes. And that's the strength and the weakness of this whole series. So if you want to see a lot of spectacle, if you want to see a bunch of things you've never seen on the screen before, even in the other previous Avatar movies, you want to see a lot of the same things you've seen in the other Avatar movies, bigger and better. If you want to see like soap opera with the family stuff going on, cool, you'll like this one. I enjoyed it. The 3 hours and 17 minutes felt a little bit long towards the end because you're sitting that long, and there's enough going on, you pay attention to it. I wouldn't recommend having your phone on hand, because you really should watch the movie. And you know, it was. I've seen for a movie that cost like an insane amount of money for me to just say like I've seen worse and I've enjoyed it. See, that doesn't balance, that balance sheet doesn't balance out. But you know, in this day and age where it feels like some movies are being made aggressively to show how much Hollywood hates you, this one felt like, hey, everybody's welcome. The other thing too is like, I know this is actually spoken in the Navi language, but like the brothers say bro a lot, and there's a lot of like Earth colloquialisms being like used where they say shit and swear a little bit, and it's kind of like, oh, you know, but it's probably the Navi equivalent of whatever that is. They just didn't want to have to dub and subtitle everything. So but it was, despite its many flaws, it was fun, it was fine, and I will watch part 4. A quick
Are they doing
review.
I don't think they're doing a part 4, are they?
This one made like a crazy amount of money, but I don't know how. They were originally going to make 5 of them, but I'd heard that there was so much in the second movie that they split it into this one. You could see where the retread and maybe even padding went in this one. But again, it's like every amazing image and every amazing action thing and every amazing whatever that they thought of went up onto the screen. And it's like almost too much. It's like some of the escapes, like he does this and then they do that, and then there's a turn and then there's a twist and and it's like part of your brain goes like, I really wish maybe 3 minutes of those twists and turns didn't need to be in there, but all of it was kind of cool. So it's like that's a really tough call to whether or not you know, there's the only reason to cut it is for time, not that it doesn't add anything or that it isn't cool or amazing. So I don't know what to say. A movie, 2 movies I can do real fast because I wasn't that impressed by them. I saw The Born Losers. Do either of you know what that is?
No.
So when I was a kid, like I've always said before, between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock during the week, they would show family TV show reruns like The Brady Bunch or Gilligan's Island or sitcoms. And during that hour, because they were transitioning into what the 6 o'clock news, the adults were starting to come in the room. So no cartoons, just old sitcoms. And during that time, they would show the trailers for the exploitation movies, like all the Roger Corman stuff, car crash movies.
Not the one with Russell Crowe?
No, it's much older than that.
Okay.
So Born Losers is the first Billy Jack movie. And they used to show all the trailers to the Billy Jack movies during that hour. And I always wanted to see a Billy Jack movie. And so the live stream guys were thinking of doing Billy Jack for their Circle of Iron show. So I watched The Born Losers, and I was not impressed. It's, for the time, I could totally see why it was successful. There wasn't much action in it at all, except this biker gang's trying to rape this girl. The girl, the linchpin to the story is that there's this girl who rides into town. She's like a rich girl.
But she's gone too far.
She's the rich girl. Yeah, well, she's like the rich girl daughter of some politician or whatever. So she rides into town on a Harley Davidson, basically wearing bikini bottoms, white go-go boots, a white helmet, and bikini top with a very sheer white top. And that white top comes and goes according to whoever's editing the movie that day. So and the shocking, so she's like the main story, like she's going to join the gang and then she's not, and then they harass her and they rape some of the local girls in town, and it's all over the place. But the weird thing is that the woman who plays that character was also the screenwriter under a dude's name, and it plays it. You could totally see where Quentin Tarantino got a lot of inspiration, the way the characters talk and the way the pacing is and all that sort of thing. The other thing I found out, which was more interesting than the movie itself, was that the guy who plays Billy Jack based it on a true story of some, I forgot whether it was like two things. It was Native Americans getting mistreated and some biker gangs that had raped some girls in a small town. And so he had written the Billy Jack script, and then they kind of hurriedly wrote this screenplay, The Born Losers, to introduce the character. So this is the first Billy Jack film, but actually the first one written was Billy Jack. So I'm going to give it another chance. I'll see if the actual
You gonna watch the sequels?
I'm just going to watch the other. He only gave us. We were provided the first two movies for the Circle of Iron thing. So
You're not gonna watch Billy Jack Goes to Washington?
I remember that trailer like I saw it yesterday. So there's a part of me that does, and then the part of me that doesn't is like everybody says they get way worse as it goes along.
Do you know they tried to do the return of Billy Jack in the 1980s, but the movie was never completed.
There was one that they did like 17 minutes of it or something like that, and that was it.
Yeah, I think that was the one.
Yeah, a buddy of mine made a movie with quotes with Cynthia Rothrock. They filmed, I think he said it was 5 minutes of footage of her fighting, and then they did a Plan 9 from Outer Space and built the rest of the movie around her with a double who doesn't look anything like her. She was the double was supposed to be a ninja, and it's like her eyes don't match.
Well, in that Black Creek movie, in that Black Creek movie we watched, that doesn't look anything like her either, but it's her.
Yeah, I know. It's starring Cynthia Botox. It was pretty. So anyway, so that was Billy. So that was Born Losers, which is a biker. I'll tell you this though, if you're a fan of men's adventure magazines, like those that have all those biker stories and Hell's Angels, Rape My Daughter kind of stuff.
Like the cover of the book I showed you, I put on the group with Steve Austin beating up Bigfoot or something.
Yep, that is 100% from that era and of that time. The other one I saw was called Tales of Ordinary Madness, and it's based on a Charles Bukowski novel. A friend of mine gave me a Charles Bukowski book called Pulp, and he says, "You like pulp, you'll like this." And it was just pretentious, wannabe Hemingway in a pulpish, even more pulpish way, Beat Generation nonsense. And that, I mean, I know there might be a listener who loves him, and I apologize, but it just did not resonate with me. And the movie was exactly the same. But the reason I watched it was Ornella Muti plays a hooker in it, and the story that it's based on was called The Most Beautiful Girl in Town, and it was very true of the cast in this movie. And
it's called Tales of Ordinary Madness, isn't it?
The movie is called that, but it was actually, so the thing was, it's an Italian director and almost completely Italian crew, and an Italian actress as the female lead, and she's in the movie. I wouldn't say quite a bit, but she's definitely the lead actress in the movie. But they filmed it right here in Hollywood, and like it was made. The movie came out in 1980, and even then, that was a pretty shitty part of town. And that was kind of the point of the whole thing. It was just like a sleazy low-life drunk with trying to have sex with sleazy low-life women, and this one woman shows up who's classier than the rest of them. Not going to give the spoilers away in case anybody's curious, but it's, you look it up on IMDb and it's very split. People who love Bukowski are like middling, like, it's an okay adaptation. People liked it because they liked the movie. Some people gave it a 9 out of 10. Some people gave it like a 1 and call it boring, pretentious shit. And the acting was good. It definitely, for the for the vibe they were trying to get, it was spot on. I mean, that was a shitty part of Hollywood when it was like sleaze town, and sleazy people, and John was talking about the depressing movies. It's like, well, John, if your life is so good and you think it's like a little too much and you want to bring yourself down a couple of notches, I would recommend this movie. So
Excellent.
So also, if you are feeling down about yourself and life hasn't given you everything you'd wanted to have and all that, you can watch this movie too and see somebody who's far worse off than you. The problem is, the problem is that the guy had talent, but he just sort of chose to live this sleaze bag life, and you could just totally see that the drinking was a big part of the problem. But it was one of those things, like, if he stopped drinking, he probably would have lost a lot of his abilities and wouldn't have anything to write about. So anyway, that was the reason the reason I watched this one was because Ornella Muti was in it, and I was acquiring movies with her in it to use as reference for the Luna Diamond Project Star Crash thing.
So that was your excuse.
Yeah.
The director
doesn't work on us. You're talking to us. We know what you like.
There's that too. But the Star Crash director and I went back and forth, like, who would you cast as the lead for this new character if we can't have Carolyn Monroe? And he didn't like anybody I recommended. And I said, well, what about her? Because she's I thought, for me, she's a Flash Gordon. And he was like, oh, she's great. And I think it's mostly because she's Italian. She's great. She's Italian. He had a chance to work with her when she was very young, blah, blah, blah. So she's kind of like locked in as the inspiration for this character when we get around to it. So I wanted to see other movies she'd been in besides Flash Gordon, and this one's not exactly inspiring me to.
I love that when we get I love that when we get around to it.
Well, I mean, I would have gotten around to it 3 weeks ago if I wasn't if I could sit in a chair without it being miserable. So those were the two short movie. That was the two. Oh, so Flint, I'm metaphorically looking at you for this one. So I was listening to the Critical Drinker, and he was reviewing the new Super Mario World movie, and he said that if he was a kid with ADHD, or I forgot what else he compared it to, but I was like, you know what? I do deal with that a lot at work. Kids who seem to have ADHD or something somewhere on some spectrum, and they do definitely seem to be attracted to Pokemon, Sonic, and the Super Mario stuff. I'm not a gamer, but I know enough about the games. Like, I recognize some of the characters and the Mushroom Kingdom and Princess Peach and blah, 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 blah. But I don't know any of the lore, or, I know that there's carts and, go-karts involved and some things, and these little mushrooms.
It's called Mario Kart, Rossy.
Yeah, I know. but that's about it. That's all I know. So I was like, you know what? I should watch this, because there's a term for Japanese storytelling that I recently heard about, and I was like, I wonder if they applied that to this one, because that movie made like a shit ton of money. First of all, I did see the live action movie with John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins in the theater when it came out.
He was doing cultural appropriation, John Leguizamo.
Oh, no.
Oh, I know. Well, Hoskins too. So
he's allowed to do it. He's English. They conquered most of the world.
That's right.
Well, wasn't
no,
wasn't London originally Londinium? It was part of the Rome. So
no, it was a cesspit on the Thames.
So
yeah, imagine imagine an Italian turns up, knocks on John's door, and say, "Hey, I need your house, because this is my ancestors' house from way back when."
Yes.
Well, if Gavin Newsom has his way, that's what's going to happen here. So anyway, the so I saw the original live action movie, and a friend at work, her husband was working at Universal when they were making that movie, and she said, if you think the final movie's bad, you should have seen some of the scripts that went through before they settled on that one. And they were like aggressively trying, like all along the way, they were aggressively trying to get away from the video game. So I was like, how do you make a movie called Super Mario movies and you don't Super Mario Twins and you don't even have the do 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 music to it?
Yep.
I mean, that's what people want to see. They want to see plumbers. They want to hear the music.
Yeah, it's like when they were doing the Flash TV show, and the executive said, "Well, why can't we have him running a hoodie?"
Was it the new Flash?
No, the
show?
original one with what's his name, the one from the 90s.
Wesley
They're like
something.
Wesley Snipes. No, not Wesley Snipes. Wesley Ship or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Ships. Yeah. And he said
David Wesley
what?
Ship. Or,
Yeah.
anyway.
They were like, why don't we just have him? You know, because they didn't want to spend the money on it.
Because a fucking hoodie would be like a parachute on his neck.
Well, it wouldn't be the Flash. You're better off calling it something else.
Exactly. I mean, that's how all those comic book and game things were. Well, not all of them, because Mortal Kombat leaned right into the game, but like a lot of those comic book movies and game movies were, they just tried to get as far away from the source material as they could, because they were ashamed of it, or it was kid stuff, or I guess maybe they thought they would have their own IP version of it. I don't know. So anyway, this movie made like a shit ton of money, and one of the things,
I watched it.
Okay, so we'll talk. So after my I'll shorten the preamble then. And so did you play the games and all that too?
Yeah, I played it when it first came out.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't like hang out in video arcades like all day long like a lot of people did during that time period, but I did go. I played the game once or twice. I had a feel for it and all that.
I don't think they had Mario in the arcade. I think they had Donkey Kong or something where Mario was there. He was the plumber trying to, get the princess. Right. But it wasn't called Mario. It was called Donkey Kong.
A friend of mine had he had a game night, and so he rented a big screen TV Nintendo. Before everyone had one. Yeah, and so he rented
a big bulky TV to take 6 people to lift it into the house.
Yeah, basically, and he had Mario Kart, so I'd seen Mario Kart on a big TV played out.
Mario Kart.
So I got, and that was the other thing too. It's like, oh, are they going to go for the full cultural appropriation with the accents and all that? And so I've got to say that the made for ADHD or somewhere on the spectrum people is the way they did that is amazing. If you haven't seen it, now that you've seen it, that's awesome. If you're a storyteller and you're trying to attract a new audience, Rebellion, you need to see this movie to understand what kids, how to reach kids where they are, instead of taking your old ass IP and just scaling it down and making the characters kids. The pacing in it is like the most fuck you level pacing I've ever seen outside of the Lego movie, where it's like in no more than 3 sentences, they tell you what you need to know about this character. Are they good? Are they bad? What do they want? And that's it. There's Princess Peach has like the longest backstory in the movie, and it's pretty much just like, one day I was here, and then they made me their princess, and there was like 2-3 sentences in between that, and that's her story. That is the sum total of her story. And then there's a little bit of the Mario family at the beginning, but in almost every shot there's something else going on, and when they leave a scene, there's like a little something that they throw in there so you don't like to keep your attention. Like some character, like one of the characters, like threw something off panel or off frame, or there was like a gag that they didn't do the payoff of the gag, but they were setting it up, and then they cut to the next scene or cut to the next shot. They never explained where all the pipes under New York came from. That they never explained it, like why those pipes brought the Mario Brothers to Mario World. They don't
have
just,
to.
You're right. And that's the thing. As I was watching it, I was like, and they don't have to, because they went right to the part everybody wanted to see. It's like, here's the Mushroom Kingdom, here's Princess Peach, here's Donkey Kong, here's everything you wanted. Here are the carts, here's everything you want to see. The one thing that shocked me was, I was watching it with subtitles, and I was like, the language is really simple. I mean, it is like 4 and 5 letter words max in this movie. This is not one of those movies where it's like cool Gen Xers writing for other Gen Xers, and if kids want to come along, that's fine. This is like, you will die. If you don't do this, you will die. That's the sum total of the dialogue. And that's all you need to know. Princess Peach, the girl bossery for that character is so off the scale. I couldn't tell if they were being super meta about it. Like, people are going to assume, oh, we're going to make Princess Peach into girl boss because it's 2023 or whatever year the movie came out. So we're just going to lean into it and go like way over the top, and that'll be the joke. I couldn't tell, but it also didn't bother me that much. Because she came somehow, even though she was a girl boss, she came across as likable. The Super Mario Brothers are the sidekicks in their own movie to the hero, which is Princess Peach. And then there's this third sidekick, which is this little mushroom guy, and they never explain who he is or why he's doing what he's doing. He's just the loyal sidekick who does comedy shit. John, you saw that Wrecking Crew movie, right?
Yep.
The other Wrecking Crew movie with Jason Momoa and Dave Bautista. So you remember the sidekick that they called Fat Jackie Chan, right?
Yes.
So that guy he didn't really have an explanation. They were chasing him down. He had some information that they needed, and then he was with them the rest of the movie as the comedy relief, right?
Yep.
Who basically drove the car. And
that's basically Joe Pesci in the Lethal Weapon movies.
Yeah, and that's what this third sidekick character was, for the heroes. And it was the thing was that the screenwriter almost didn't have to invent anything except a little brief story for the Mario Brothers to set up their emotional arc at the beginning of the movie with their family. But the writer was clearly given the Nintendo catalog of Super Mario stuff and said, make a story around this. And he did. He put everything you want to see in a Mario movie in this movie. And a Donkey Kong, well, most of what you'd want to see in a Donkey Kong movie, I suppose. And it was just like this no bullshit. And you want to hear the Mario music? You hear it 8-bit style, you hear it symphonic style, you hear it as musical cues. They play it on the piano as part of the story.
Super Mario Brothers was the first official Mario Brothers game.
Okay. So you get to see Easter eggs that even I, as not a Mario fan, know about. And they, it's like, why did he eat the mushroom and turn into a guy in a cat suit with superpowers? Don't know, don't care. That's what happened in the game. They know that none of the people, almost nobody watching it who played the game cares about all that backstory. 10 years ago, they would have painstakingly explained everything. And now they're just like, fuck it. You want to see Mario fly through the air in a raccoon costume? We got you. So that's how storytelling is now. That's what that's the audience you have to reach. If you can do it, and that's how those micro dramas work too. If you can say it in 3 sentences, just he's the bad guy, he's the good guy, and the bad guy wants to kill the good guy. That's all you need to know, and that's, you know, anything else becomes Avatar. So anyway, so what did you think of it when you saw it, Flint?
Oh, well, I liked it, but I mean, there's no point in making a video game movie without having all the elements of the video game in it.
Right, and they put all of the elements in it.
Right.
It's amazing. It was the fan service and the not giving a shit about having any depth whatsoever to the story.
No, you don't have to, because everybody knows who Mario is.
Right, right. In 6 sentences or less, he came across as a nice,
Right.
likable character.
That's why when they do a next Batman movie, they don't have to do his origin. Everybody knows who Batman is.
Right, right.
Or just go straight
Spider-Man
into the
movie,
action.
for that matter. Right,
Yeah,
right.
you just go straight into it. You don't have to explain anything. Yeah, the Donkey Kong, he wasn't called. I think he was called Mario, but he wasn't in the forefront in it. The Donkey Kong game was originally supposed to be Popeye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bluto was the big ape. Was King Kong was the Kong type ape, throwing the barrels down the girders, and Popeye was supposed to be rescuing olive oil, but they couldn't get the rights to it, so they decided to make him a plumber. So that's where Mario came from.
Right, which also becomes like the whole the weirdness factor of it. It's because, you know, the Japanese will just do like weird shit for the sake of doing weird shit, and if there's any lore to it, maybe in a Japanese interview that appeared in a Japanese video game magazine, they'll kind of sort of throw a few paragraphs explaining what they were thinking about at the time. But like, it's like, why a plumber? Why a plumber up against a gorilla called Donkey Kong? What? There's nothing donkey about him. There's nothing, you know. I get it. You know, you could have just gone with the Kong because it's an ape. Why all the mushrooms? Why the Mushroom Kingdom? Why is the human-looking princess called Princess Peach? What's it? Just, there's like a million questions that could have been answered painstakingly that would have taken away from seeing all the shit that you want to see in a Super Mario movie. And the other thing too is, like, we're at that point where,
well, you know what? It's like what you said about the comic strip you did, the Italian one that you translated, right? That, you know, you just saw always a Tarzan in the jungle. You don't have to put his origin in there. Just start like that. You know, you don't have to do all the backstory or fill in this, fill in that.
yeah, and it truly is like a generational thing that they really don't care. It's just like, is there something about it that appeals to them? Yes, then they'll just stick with it until they don't care anymore. You don't have to explain like the lengthy backstory, because I've seen so many of these like short films and or AI clips where like there's this long cinematic entry. You know, it's like, and you know from reading screenwriting books and film school and all that, it's like
Nobody's going to watch it. Nobody's going to
Huh?
watch stuff like that anymore. Nobody's going to watch
Right.
like the big slow opening. No, go straight into it, or else you lose the audience.
Right. Or even like Kickstarter videos where it's like they're animating parts of the strip. It's like, here is my spaceship, and I used After Effects to show my spaceship
Yeah.
flying across space, and they're flying and then there's this character's eye. Who is that character? Are you intrigued that that character's eye is looking pensive, and my character, and then here's this, they're on the spaceship looking out at the screen at the vista of space. It's like, nobody cares.
No.
Nobody cares anymore. And again, 10, 20 years ago, that would have been kind of cool. You know, it's like, there aren't that many spaceships to look at, and there's not that much, you know, there's Star Wars and a few other space operas out there, so whatever kind of looks like that is going to catch my eye. But now there's so much of it
that was cool when the internet first came out.
Yes, flash cartoons and all that kind of thing, sure.
Yeah.
But and now with the AI stuff too, you know, there's a split between the ones that just kind of get right to it. It's like, okay, here's Chuck Norris and he's kicking Rambo in the head. There's
Yeah, we don't want this long, polluting sci-fi opening. Just show us the
Yeah.
goods.
yeah.
That's why that AI titty killer trailer is so good.
There was another one
Mm.
that there was a character that kind of looked like Randy Savage, and he's got a bear. It looks like a teddy bear. It looks like Ted, only all done cybernetically, who rides into town and he fights some bad guys and pulls out these machine guns, basically shoots everybody, and it's 2 minutes and 11 seconds, and it just wastes no time. It's like thing lands super fast. You see the guy goes into the thing. You see the villains. Less than a minute's already been spent, and then it's like a minute and a half of mayhem. 2.5 minutes done, and that's what you're up against. And those micro dramas are the same thing. You got 90 seconds to resolve the cliffhanger, remind people what the cliffhanger was, get to the point in the middle, and set up the next cliffhanger. That's what you got. And it doesn't have to be good. It just got to be gripping. And that's exactly what this movie was. Just boom, 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 boom. And it was 90 minutes long. TMI, but I had to drain my bag at the 45-minute mark, and it was almost. I wasn't even looking at the clock, but when I paused it, 43 minutes came up on screen. It's literally, the movie's like almost exactly 90 minutes long. So, and it was like this, the one kind of slowdown part of the movie. I think it was when the big bad guy was singing like Elton John, playing the piano and all that. And that's the other thing too. There's a lot. It's not like the Shrek movies where a lot of it is the appeal of, oh, we're doing pop culture references. It's more of a Tarantino kind of thing where like stealing of shots and stealing of images and stealing of things adults are going to recognize, but kids are just going to assume it's part of the story. Like the shot when Mario goes into the gladiatorial arena, it's like the shot from Gladiator when Russell Crowe and his crew are herded into the arena for the first time, and there's this big blast of overexposure, and then you can see the stands up above. It's like hopefully no kid has seen Gladiator and is gonna get that. The target audience is too young to have seen Gladiator. They're not gonna get that, but it doesn't matter. They're just seeing the character being thrown into arena for the first time. But the adults will get it. But then they don't have to. But they don't dwell on it and do like a whole Gladiator thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So and there was a lot of stuff like that. There was like this like one and done shot. You get it or you don't. And I thought I don't know, what did you think about the way the characters acted? I thought the character acting, body language stuff was really well done too.
Oh, I seen it ages ago. I seen it when it first came out.
Mm.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I mean, it didn't. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, as two adults of a certain age, it's not. First of all, it's not made for us, but as people who want to do storytelling and tell stories that are going to reach an audience, hopefully a younger audience, because our generation's already saturated out. It's like you really have to watch this movie and forget about whether you enjoy it, forget about whether you care if Mario saves the day and Princess Peach does her.
Do you think that Dogman is? Do you think the Dogman movie is kind of similar, where they try and do a lot of stuff?
So the Dogman movie was the short answer is yes. I think also the other movie that does the same thing, the two other movies, I'm going to call the two-parter one. The other ones that I've seen that are like this, that did this successfully with this new kind of storytelling, and it's different degrees. Like this one, I think was like the most extreme case of the fuck it, this is all you need to know, and now we're going to show you what you came to see kind of storytelling. But the other ones that I think did it well were the first Lego movie,
which I hated.
The problem with the Lego movie is it moved so fast, and then it felt like whoever did the editing, they did their a normal cut, and then they made the ADHD cut where they chopped off like 3 frames.
I hated the song. I hated everything.
You know, the guy from Devo was behind that, right?
Well, that explains it. That explains it.
Well, the problem with the song, well, there's a big problem with the song is that
Everything is awesome when you're part of a team. No, it's not.
Devo can't help themselves. Devo's going to Devo. So the song is used at the beginning of the movie to show this like horrendous consumerism and conformity.
That's not the way it ends, though.
But no, that is the way it ends.
It ends with everything is awesome as long as you're part of a team. It's the same ending.
Yes, it's the messaging in that movie is fucking horrendous. It starts off showing you it's like contrapuntal sound where like they show this like everybody's basically living and working in a factory. They go through this assembly line coffee shop and assembly line driving and assembly line everything. And meanwhile, this chirpy song is singing and everything is awesome. And so you're like, the adults are going like, oh, it's like Devo's Beautiful World song where the music video is showing wars and the KKK and all this horrible atomic bombs and shit. And the song is going, it's a beautiful world we live in and all that kind of stuff. It's the same thinking is like this, but kids aren't going to understand that. They aren't going to understand that they're being told 2 different messages. And then the characters go on the journey and the heroes thing and blah, 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 blah. And it moves really fast and pop culture gags. And then it ends on the happy ending is they're exactly at the same part. Same thing with the assembly line. Yeah, they go back to the assembly line and the thing with the same song playing in the background. Nothing changes. And like adults would think like, oh my gosh, how ironic. And kids are going to get like this fucked up messaging that everything is awesome when your life's a factory. So aside from the horrific Devo messaging that kids probably need explained to them, as a movie they did that well. As a movie that's going to hold a kid's interest for 90 minutes, Lego Movie, Miles Morales movies, what was the other one? This one, and I guess, I know that the Bad Guys movies, they were successful and they've made like 3 of them, I think 3, and there's a holiday special for Netflix or something like that. But 1, they're kind of beholden to the books, and 2, they're very much like Ocean's 11's movies for kids. So there's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of what I said. There's too much of the trying to be a parody of a pop culture thing for the adults. It's not just like a fuck it kind of thing. Dogman tries to stick sort of close to the story from the first 2 books, so it can't move quite as fast as this movie does, but as much as they can, they do that, and they show you exactly what you want to see as fast as they can get it up on the screen. So and once you know the Dogman origin story, which takes a grand total of 3 minutes, then you're off to the races. So yeah, I'm seriously, it's like I know so many people who want to do comics or write kids books or meet kids where, reach out to kids with stories, and they will not watch the things that the kids are watching and understand how and why. And I wouldn't like I said, I wouldn't recommend it as something you're going to enjoy. I recommend it as something you need to see, to take apart and understand how all the pieces work. So there you go.
All right. So John, you must be having tea ready.
It's soon, but it's slightly different because it's Easter. Easter, when we celebrate our egg eating and the
Well, you
zombie
celebrate
Jesus
Ramadan.
Christ. Ramalama ding dong.
Did you Are you now partying every day since you rocked and rolled all night?
Well, well, you saw how many T-shirts and CDs we bought.
Oh yeah, did you pay cash for everything?
Cash for everything.
Wow, you must have had a pimp roll in your pocket for that.
I had about 500 quid in my pocket.
Ooh.
Yes, I always try to, for things, some things I'll pay on the card because if you spend so much on the card, you get that, they take £3 a month off your thing. That's rubbish. So you get these
Yeah,
bits
get
and bobs.
cash back.
Yeah, so I get cash back. So I just use the card for fuel and things like that. But for anything that's the music stuff, I want to take cash because I want to pay cash. And it's easy for them. So we got 7 T-shirts, Sam got 3, I got 3, Carolyn got 2, 6 CDs. We had a brilliant evening. It was good. We had a brilliant chat with the groups about different things because what the main group was like a prog rock metal group, which we only saw because they came in at the last moment very early last year at a gig at the same place. And they were doing the album release gig on Saturday night. And we enjoyed them. Wasn't our sort of music, but we really enjoyed it. So we thought, you know what, when I seen they were coming and the other group we'd seen at KK's, not 3Ks, just the 2Ks, up in
You went up right to the line there.
I know, up at Wolverhampton, and we enjoyed them. So we watched them. Oh, there's a funny story with one of them. And so we had a chat with the lead singer of Hex, which is HEKZ, and he's a teacher of music. And I was going, what I liked about your last album was, I said, it's not my sort of scene per se, but I'm a lover of all music, so I like a bit of this, I like a bit of that, you know what I mean? Mix it all over. He said, "Do you like Gary Newman?" I said, "Well, he did have one song, didn't he?" Now I'm only joking about that. Anyway, but I mentioned it reminded me of a very theatrical thing. The way in one song you would think there was 5 songs if you heard different bits of it. 5 completely different songs. And I said, and he goes, "Well, you could buy this booklet, which was a visual companion, it was called, of the latest double album." And I said, "Well, I bought this, but I bought all them because we bought your last CD at the last one." He goes, "Well, that is it's like a theatrical thing that you get at the theatre when you go and watch a musical." He said, it's laid out like that. And I said, "Oh, I said, well, we've got tickets to go and see Jesus Christ Superstar." And he goes, now, when we were listening to his CD, because every time we're going to go to one of the gigs, we put the CDs of the groups that we're going to watch in the car, and then we've got them on rotation. And I said, I get the feel from the last one that was very sort of the way you were singing and this and it was very that sort of level, the Jesus Christ stuff. And he goes, "Well, funny you should mention," and that was around about term of that booklet. And then I told him the price of the tickets for the Jesus Christ, and he nearly did say Jesus Christ. Yeah. But yeah, it was a good laugh, and said like, "Oh, Sam was enjoying it." And what else was it he said with him? There was something else. But anyway, the other group I was talking to.
That booklet looks like the when you go see Cirque du Soleil.
That's right, yeah. So it's that sort of thing. Oh, yeah, that was it. And inside the booklet, it says when they did a photo shoot, they were looking for something, and it mentioned Dread. So how weird!
Yeah,
if I'd only quickly looked at it and seen that before I chatted, I would have went, "Oh, so you're a Dread fan?" And he probably would have said, "Yeah, I used to get it."
I saw the movie.
That's right. But my favourite reaction of the night was when we were chatting to the lead guitarist of the other group, which was, oh, fucking hell, it'll come to me. Anyway, they were from Italy and they live in Manchester. So I said, "Oh, well, so what brought you to Manchester then?" And he said, "The music scene." Logical.
Oh.
And then his girlfriend decided to do a course there and all this, that, and the other. So that was it. And I said, "Oh yeah, so you've left the Italian weather to come and live in dreary Manchester." And this is what he said. I'll even do a bit of his accent. He goes, so fuck me, I was going into fucking mafia then. I was one morning I opened the curtains and I looked out and it was pouring down with the rain, and I just started to cry.
Oh, why? Because it reminded me of Jamaica Stan.
Yeah, Shape of Water, that was the name of the group. But I had to hold the laughing, that sort of release of laughing. But I did laugh, and I went, well, that's Manchester, mate. I said, you've come down, because this was the first gig in the south. I said, you've come down to the sunny south. I said, this is where the sun is. I said, when we get rain, we get a bit here, there, and everywhere. Although Carolyn says, oh, it rained all winter. And I'm like, when? I didn't see it. She goes, you're asleep in the daytime. I said, what, doesn't it rain at night? But yeah, so we had a brilliant time. Had a chat with the lads who organised it, and we've already got our tickets for the next event. We've also got the tickets for the Christmas, the 5th of December. They've already booked and paid for, because they revealed who were playing them, and we were like both of them groups. So very happy. And then we've just seen that one of the festivals we go to in the summer in Maidstone, because we've got the Rock Festival, and then we've got the sort of other music festival from the 90s. They've revealed they've revealed everybody, but the headliners are Cooler Shaker, Sleeper, Stereo AMCs, Inspiral Carpets, EMF, and one of the lead singers from Gomez, Ben Otwell. So we've heard of all of those groups, but one of our favourite blokes is Samuel Ashton, who's playing as well. He plays every year there, and he's really, really enjoyable. Very relaxed bloke he is. But yeah, so all them groups that I mentioned, we've seen on like the TV and heard the music and know all the main hits. So that would be a good one. That's more of a flowery 90s, like I say, stuff. So we have the Rock Festival. You have a week of work to recover, and then we go to the Blue Reef. So it's all lining up very nicely.
There's a festival out here that they're going to have.
Oh yeah.
I forgot the name of it, but I think EMF and a couple of the other bands you mentioned were going to be on it. But Smashing Pumpkins was one of the two headliners, and I think Rossy was,
know them, yeah.
But also Gary Newman and Adamant, and I think it was OMD. But I was like,
OMD.
Yeah.
You see, right, okay, all joking aside, right? At least when Gary plays his main hit and then his Tubeway Army song, you can sing along to them and enjoy them.
Yeah.
Adamant, sing along stuff. OMD, fucking hell. I mean, I don't mind the records, but it's not something I'd want to watch on a stage.
Well, I mean, what's his face? McCluskey still dances around a little bit.
Oh, don't give a shit about that. The music isn't danceable.
The other guy can't sing worth shit anymore.
Yeah, but the music isn't danceable. At least with Adam and the Ants, all their songs.
And all the gay is danceable. If you leave it danceable.
All the old people at those concerts aren't dancing anyways. They're shuffling.
They're exactly right.
They're sat on their commodes watching
You're absolutely right. And that's the.
And if they're not sat in commodes, they're just like Mr. Ross. They've all got catheters fitted.
That's true. You don't need.
They're all going
You can save a fortune on porta potties because everyone can just drain their bags over in the bushes.
That's it.
You don't have to get your TALLYWACKER out. You just put your leg up against the tree and unscrew the nozzle. The thing with Adamant though is like I don't want to see him live anymore. I've not seen a good live recording, or heard a good live recording in the last 2 years. They've all sounded really bad, and his performance even is just like, who's this shuffling little old man? I know he's like in his 70s, but it's like,
well, why don't you contact them and say, look, you sing the songs and I'll do all the dance moves.
I don't want him to sing it. I'll just lip sync the albums. I'll start my own tribute act.
When I watched your fucking thing the other day and I went, Jesus Christ, he's ripped off every move from Adamant. I watch it every so often, you know. I put it on the telly just to enjoy you. I watch both versions.
Yeah, I wonder why the view count's still going up after all these years.
Yeah, I sit there and I go, do you know what, Carolyn? Let's put Mr. Ross on the telly.
Oh, I'll have to do a new one someday.
The thing is, if anyone's feeling down and you're just thinking, do you know what? I'm sick of all this whinging on Facebook and crying. Let's just put a big fucking grin, a rictus grin on our faces by watching Rossy go on a talent show and then watch him do an even better version in the alleyway.
That's why I want to go back to doing videos, because
Tell you what, when I get that, how big is that cinema screen we have that we haven't put up yet? That's Marty. I think it's around 20 foot by 30 foot. When I get that up and running, I'm gonna put Rossi's video will be the first thing they'll play on it.
Oh, you know what you're going to do? You want to put it in the front of the house on the drive and have it facing out, so when people drive past, they'll see Rossy doing his stuff.
in the worst, it's like the best resolution, biggest TV you can get, with like a Super 8 film that was transferred to VHS tape that was transferred.
I'm sure you can transfer it. You can put it through, upscale it in AI.
I've still got the Super 8 film, but I don't even know if you could, how you would transfer like the original film back onto some digital 4K format.
You'll have to find a place that'll do it in LA.
Yes.
Hollywood's gone, man. It'd be better just redoing it in AI.
No, you can get your original clip and you can put it through AI and have it upscale it, like John said.
Plus, you can also do it so it becomes a cartoon version of you doing it.
I know, right?
Like the cat in that Paula Abdul video.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, I've seen all. I mean, you probably haven't, but I certainly have seen all the AI videos of guinea pigs dancing and singing and cooking dinner and all that.
And being eaten in New York.
Well, that
on the
one
streets.
Much. Yeah. So, fucking third world country.
See, send them all home, Rossy.
Yeah. Ice is too good for them.
Yep.
So
they're eating the pets. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Yeah.
Oh, I love me a bit of ice. Although it's all melted in the glass from earlier.
I'll tell you what. You got anything else, John, about your rock concerts?
Nope.
I think
I'm all
done.
rocked out.
I think we're done, unless you want to say something else before we hit the road.
Yeah.
We'll finish, then we'll say the real juicy stuff.
Yeah. Well, I got nothing for the Patreon this week.
I've got nothing left to give.
We everything that needed to be said has been said, except last week I went to WonderCon, and I honestly, last week was this was like the week before, last Sunday I went to WonderCon. The Thursday before,
I can't believe you spent about 20 seconds trying to give a date, and you went all over the place last week, the day before, the day after, the Wednesday, the Thursday. It was hilarious. Honestly, I can't wait to listen to that back.
Yeah, Flint can't live with me, unless I'm absolutely precise about everything.
There you go. You have to tell the truth, Rossy.
Yeah, that's true. I can't speak in generalities that everybody will just understand. So anyway, on the Thursday before WonderCon, because WonderCon misdelivered my passes.
No.
We had to go to the Anaheim Convention Center to pick them up ahead of time.
You're part of the AP group, right?
AP wasn't there. This is it's a smaller convention that originally started in the Bay Area, and it's much more arts and crafts centric. It's
gay.
It is. There's a small press. Small press is kind of like the big
one table.
No, it's a big area. That's the thing. Artist Alley is twice as big as it is in San Diego, and it's not just like dudes with their folding tables and their art on it.
It's not full of 20-year-old girls doing flower books and stuff.
I will get to that. So, so the backstory is I invited my boss to go, and I told her she likes that Neil Gaiman sort of.
She likes perverts.
Well, before we found out about that. But she doesn't like comic books at all, but she was a librarian and likes that sort of, like some of the fantasies of Studio Ghibli type stuff, the girly kind of fantasy type thing. So I said, I wouldn't recommend you go to any of the other ones, even the more convenient one that's like literally just a couple of blocks away at the Pasadena Convention Center when they have it. This is the one I think you would like to go to because they have a good small press area, publishers, authors, and then the Artist Alley is like, you're going to like the Artist Alley stuff. So, but we had to go ahead of time. Me and my friend Daniel had to go ahead of time. And I told him, look, this is a crazy idea, but if you're willing to do it, because he doesn't have a 9-to-5 job, and sometimes he just looks for shit to do. So I said, if you want to go to the Anaheim Convention Center, because I have to use my ID to pick up the passes, I'll go with you. You know, we'll just do it, and then we can shoot the shit for an hour and a half in the car. Okay, fine. So we get there, and then we get a little lost. It's literally right across the street from Disneyland. You can literally see the Matterhorn from the parking lot. Immediately they charge us $25 to park, and we said, well, we just want to go in, and there's two parking lots. There's a parking lot in back of the convention center, and there's a parking lot in the front of the convention center. I said, all we want to do is go in and get the passes. Do we still have to pay $25? And he's like, yeah. I said, it won't even be like an hour. 20 credit card, please. So, okay, so we go, we park. Mind you, it's hard for me to sit in the car, especially one on the freeway, especially one.
You know what? I don't wish this on you, but it'd be really funny because you have that your TALLYWACKER with the tube down. It'd be funny if you got hemorrhoids as well.
Yeah, that'd be the best. So it was rough, and his shocks, everything. Walking was rough. So we get over to this hall. They told us Hall F, let's say. So we get over to Hall F, and it's like the freight entrance to Hall F. So it's this huge passageway. This lady gets in our way, and she says, you can't come in this way. And we're like, but the table where we pick up our passes is literally right there, like just to walk across the hall. We can't let you in because there's like forklifts and shit going on. Can't let you in. And I said, well, how do we get in? Well, you have to go around. So this is like,
oh, jeez.
This is the F end of the convention center. This is the biggest convention center outside of the one I think in downtown LA. So we have to go from F to G, F to H to all.
Are you talking about bra sizes now?
I am dying with every step I take. We go all, and there was a hot fucking day, so we go all the way around to the A entrance on the other side of this huge convention center building. We walk in, we're like, hey, where do we find the hall? How do we get to hall, or how do we pick up the passes? And the guy goes, oh, well, you just go into the next room, there's a tent there, blah, 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 blah. So we go into the next room, there's a tent there, and then the tent turns out to be for the exhibitors, not for the people just picking up their passes, their pro badges. Where do we go from here? Oh, well, you have to go back to the place where you have to go to the front entrance.
Well done.
So the nice thing was that we got to walk through the convention, the actual convention, while everybody was setting up. So I got to see what the layout was and where everything was going to be. We get the badges, and I said, and I'd like to get 2 more passes, please. And they said, well, do these people have a username and account with the convention? I said, no. They said, we can't just sell you 2 passes. They have to be for people who have an account with the convention, but you can use the QR code over there and have them do that, and then you can come back. And I'm like, I don't even know if they're home or I don't know if they're in a position where they can just do that, so forget it. So I told them, you have to do this online. We'll just pick them up first thing in the morning, the day of the convention. Fine. So we're getting ready to leave, and we're like, now how do we get back to our car? I really don't want to have to walk like all the way. I'm actually leaving things out too. There was even more misdirection and fuck ups the moral of the, so anyway, we went around the butt end of the studio or the convention center, which we were not supposed to have. We got to the parking structure and the door was locked. So a guy's looking down from the second floor, goes, "Hey, you guys trying to get in?" We were like, "Yeah, can you please open the door for us?" And he's like, "Okay." So had that guy not been there, we would have had to walk all the way around the convention center the other way to get into that parking structure.
With you going, ooh,
exactly. I'm not ashamed to say, in the most cartoonish way possible, that would have exactly been how it played out. So we got the passes. We left. The bottom line was everybody we talked to had one job, and that was to keep everybody out of wherever they were supposed to be guarding. And so what they didn't know, because it was not, the convention wasn't even a thing and they hadn't been trained yet, what they didn't know was the alternative place to send people so we could take care of our thing. So we go to the convention center, blah, 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 blah. My boss's husband brought their adult daughter, who brought her Pokemon folders or notebooks of vintage Pokemon cards. And so he did the username thing, picked up the pass, and the guy who was giving them the pass was literally dressed up as Satan. So I'm like, "You had to get your passes from Satan?" He's like, "Yes, this is that family of three's first convention ever." And there were two drag queens who were taller than me standing in the lobby. One was wearing ruby slippers, dressed like Dorothy from Wizard of Oz, and had ruby slippers on. So it's like, yes, it's going to be this kind of convention, Flint. It's as gay as that.
Oh my God.
So we pass into the main room, which is like the first thing right there is Artist Alley. And boom, my boss is like buying shit. She's like, "I need those stickers and da 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 da." So it's like, "Do you think so and so would work with like this?" And I'm like, "You better pace yourself," because so we get through like maybe 2 lines of the Artist Alley, and it's exactly like you said. It's like the dude selling comics or badass shit, like monsters, Andrew Sawyer's kind of artwork, that kind of stuff is way in the minority. Also, it's not so much tables. It's kind of like that stand. It's like that 3-pronged stand. Lucy, the psychiatrist, is in.
Oh yeah.
That almost kind of like booth structure that they have, and they put prints all over it and stickers and all the shit that they're selling. That's what almost everybody has, and it's almost all young women. It's that pushing Studio Ghibli style of artwork. Animals drinking boba, capybaras eating strawberries. A lot of K-pop and or K-pop demon hunters, like the demon cat from K-pop Demon Hunters drinking boba, that kind of stuff. So like after 2 aisles of that, my boss goes, "I've definitely seen a recurring aesthetic here." And she eventually kind of gave up on it because she had rented a wheelchair, an automatic wheelchair, and was like, this was her first time having to use it. And it was hard to navigate, and it was hard to get between people. So she was just kind of like, screw it. So we went to the next area, which is much more of the Funko Pop, collectible, sort of traditional Comic-Con type stuff. And her daughter found some guy who was buying the Pokemon cards. So we just kind of like saw a few booths, saw a few things. Cynthia fucking Rothrock was there and didn't promote it at all on any of her social media. And I didn't see it until the next day, pictures of her at WonderCon. And I'm like, boy, that would have been a swell thing to see. So I just shuffled around for a few tables. I found the Edgar Rice Burroughs booth. That's where I literally spent all the money I spent at WonderCon. That's where I spent it. I saw the small press areas, a lot of the same small press people you see at different conventions, and it was sad. Almost nobody was shopping. Nobody quite made their way there yet. And so we just kind of sat and people watched while her daughter made this deal. $600 cash selling Pokemon cards, and I'm like, God damn!
Was there
And so
anything special with them, or were they like rare ones, or were they just like generic ones?
No, they were desirable ones. So,
Oh.
which surprised me because like usually people don't buy at those conventions, especially that kind of thing. So they must have been really good. But she was there a long time, so we were just kind of sitting at the sidelines. She goes like, my boss would go like, "Who's that supposed to be?" And I'd be like, "I don't know," because before I told her like if this had been like up to about 2000, I could have told you who everybody's supposed to be. But now it's kind of like either it's a manga or it's a video game. And even the manga, like I could kind of guess, like I think it's from whatever manga, or it's a video game thing, or it's their own character, which is a much bigger, especially at WonderCon. It's like some guy with a top hat and goggles, and it's Dr. Professor Phineas something another from his own steampunk adventure book that he's trying to sell in the small press area. So anyway, and then so around 2 or 3 o'clock we called it a day. But I was satisfied with the trip, except for not seeing Cynthia Rothrock and her Botox. I wonder what it would have been like up close in person.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? Carolyn said many times the problem with these women who've relied upon their looks as well as their other skills, but their looks are the thing that draw people in straight away, no matter what people say.
Yeah.
When they see themselves getting older, they try to stop it. But the thing is, unless they've got an amazing surgeon, they end up looking freakish.
Yeah, well, in her case, you know, she had the fighting skills, and if she just leaned into being like the tough old lady, that would have been, I think that would end up being better for her. But like as far as back as like the 90s, she had a boob job, and then in the 2000s, I think was like the first of the face jobs, and yeah, she was never like a beauty. She was never like Lucy Lawless beautiful, but when you line her up against a lot of the other women who could fight and do martial arts like that, she was, not only was she the better actress, she was also the better looking one, you know, by far. So but again, like she never got a chance to have a major role in a major Hollywood movie. She was in a movie with what's his face, one of the Corey Haim.
Oh yeah.
But she said she came close, and she got interviewed by Arnold Schwarzenegger, and they talked to her about being in the Stallone movie. Her story was that she was going to get over. They were afraid she would overshadow like the main action guys. That her actual fighting skills would make them look bad. But anyway, so yeah, it is a shame. One of my Mexican future wives, her plastic surgeon or her diet and yoga program is so good. It looks weird if you know how old she actually is. And you see a picture of her now against a picture of when she was young. It's like, what baby blood are you drinking? Because that looks unnatural. If you some of the other ones though, it's like, yeah, that ouch. Belinda Carlisle, ouch. So anyway, is Flint still with us?
Yeah, I'm listening to you.
Oh, okay. So anyway, that was WonderCon, which I said was going to take 5 minutes, but didn't. Sorry.
No, it didn't, did it?
Never does.
Did you hear the dog barking in the background?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, we heard you step away.
Yeah, that was Mr. Bug saying wrap it up.
All right.
Yes.
That's all I got. We are so fucking caught up. We could take another month off.
Yes.
All right, so I think that's it. Anything else to say before we hit the road?
Remember, losers, watch nice things. Otherwise, you'll just be a loser all your life.
Yeah, and I'll see if I can post my TALLYWACKER tube online when I take it out.
Oh, and on that bombshell, I'll stop recording.